Is this thing on? Welcome back to Outlaw Radio 2023 edition, January, man. And I told y'all I'll see y'all next year. I am Kevin Barnes. I am the world-class smartass in the building, and I am a proud man of color, bringing you the Hump Day edition of Outlaw Radio a whole damn year. And I'm not alone. I got my co-host riding with me tonight. We're going to mob tonight. Mr. Carter, what's popping with you, bruh?
Life. Life. What's happening, man? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the coach and teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm y'all holistic health and wellness coach. Come on, Carter. Peace to the family. I'm also the one who brings you Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements and Vitality. You can find it on Facebook, Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements. Or you could go to my health page, Help Yourself, Heal Thyself. Ask somebody, and they're going to point you in my direction. Then you can go to my inbox, Kamar Carter, and I'm going to tell you how to get your Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements and Vitality.
That's what's up, man. We're gonna make it do what it do. Holla at my boy, support this brother. Loving the hoodie, the ankh and all of that. I see you real festive, right. Dressed for the occasion. He didn't step his game up. He got his accoutrements in the background. I see you.
Got my
Real,
accolades, got my awards and shit behind me, man. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what I'm gonna tell you, man? I was just talking to somebody. I said, you know what? For this year, shit, man, I'm shining my light, man. I'm letting my light shine, man. You know what I mean? The wins I get, shit, I'm sharing that shit, man. You know what
That's
I'm
what's
talking
up,
about?
man. I
Fuck
can
that.
appreciate that, man, because I know for so long you was a humble brother and you was kind of, but I see you living out loud, as they say. Rail, what's popping, man? You got the drop tonight. No turban, no smoking jacket, man. What's going on with you?
I'm chilling, man. Just happy to see another year.
Yeah, man. It is a lot going on. A lot has happened. The year is only we 4 days in, and it's already crazy, man. I would never run out of work. I will never run out of information and ammunition for this show. So we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff tonight. So, strap on your seatbelt, put the kids to bed, get your Taylor Port, get your old English, get your Milwaukee's best. And some people might say get your ginger shots, right? And get your
Yeah,
vitality and get all that stuff together.
yeah.
He
Get your
walked great. I
colon
see
cleanse
you.
together. Hey, man, look, clean your motherfucking ass, y'all. Get that shit up out of there. That colon cleanse. This colon cleanse right here, knock your socks off. I'm telling you. One shot at night, clear your schedule in the morning. It's going down like that, man. That's the instructions.
That's
But
right.
yeah, it's that season. The holidays is over, man. Let's clean that bullshit up out of us. Get all last year about you.
Yeah, man. He walked the great. I see you in the chat room. Chat room popping early. We do have we have a phone. We have a phone number. It's 262-202-5131. People tell me you say the number too fast, but it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen for my remedial people. Once again, that's 262-202-5131. Happy New Year to you as well, Ewalk. Ticey Godsey, she said, good evening, men. Control C in the building. Absolutely. Yes.
Control.
Shout out to Control C. Deion James, my brother, he said, Happy New Year's, guys. What it do? Man, we getting it in. Happy New Year, Ticey. Deborah Jenkins Simmons said, good evening, my people. I'm joining you. Also, Kamar, I'm getting fit thanks to you. Hey, man, the ghetto witch
Yeah,
doctor.
come on
Ghetto
in,
witch
Mama
doctor.
Jenkins.
Yeah, she said, Mama Jenkins said, bring me some colon cleanser.
I'll see you tomorrow. Call me tomorrow, and then let's schedule it. Call me tomorrow.
Yeah, man. This is what we do on Mondays and Wednesdays. Who knows what will happen? Vision is something that you just can't put a price tag on, and the vision is just coming to fruition. And I don't want to go into it, but believe me, we're not standing pat. We're not sitting on our hands. We intend to keep the momentum going, and you can help us by sharing the show. Right? Share the show. Share the show. Deion Carter, my brother from another mother, he said, I love you, bro. Deion, you already know, man. It's reciprocal, man. That's my partner right there. Deion's a good dude, man. Known him for a very long time. One of my college partners when I was in the Wild Wild West type situation, man. Deion Carter, shout out to that brother, good brother. Sean Moore, what's happening, family? What's up, bro? How we doing, man?
Peace.
Steady, 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 right? Steady, 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 right? Right. Man, love, 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 love. I'm so happy to be here, y'all. Mama Jenkins said, I love y'all. And what about these damn arrow keys? And what about these damn arrow keys? Arrow keys. I got to get up on that, Mama Jenkins. Um, so it's like, where do we start out? I want to start out with some shout outs. And what I'm doing differently is normally at the beginning of the year, we do kind of like a retrospective. And we usually go over the year and talk about things that happened during the year and kind of encapsulate that. But I'm not going to do that because I'm telling you, I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I do affirmations. And one of my affirmations is forward, 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 all gas, no break. I'm not looking back. I acknowledge the past and I'm happy for everything that I've been through. And I'm a type of person where I don't really do regrets because I understand that everything I've been through, that they say there's a reason for the season. So we're going to go forward. We're going to talk about what's happening already in Milwaukee. And already we've gotten off to a rough start. A couple homicides, some shootings. The violence has not subsided. Regardless of what our leaders tell you, regardless of what kind of false campaigns that are put into place, the violence in Milwaukee has not slowed down or subsided at all. Regardless of what mechanisms that have been put in place, I don't care what kind of campaign slogans individuals come up with, it has not stopped. 17-year-old brother murdered. First off, right off top, right in the new year. And if you were like, I spent a little time, by myself in the garage, kind of kicking it during New Year, waiting on the countdown. And the gunshots was incredible. It's just crazy. Sound like World War II, right? And
It
my
was
wife is like
incredible.
driving home from church saying, "Oh my God!" As soon as I hit the block, she's like, "I thought that was you in the backyard." Like, nah, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't waste ammunition because you never know what you'll need it for. But man, hopefully, in the upcoming months, we can really come to terms with what's going on in our city, and deal with the violence. The violence is very, very, very important. And if you are the type of person that looks at this and says, well, it ain't me, or I'm gonna move to a better neighborhood, or I don't have to deal with that, more often than not, what you find is that it slowly but surely creeps into your life. Because you could say, well, that's not I live in Glendale or I live in Brookfield. What it does is, oh, my cousin's son, my sister's, you know, baby daddy, my son's friend, my daughter's friend. That stuff creeps up to your door. And that's why it's so important that we all get proactive and get mobilized when we have issues in our city, man. So if you're the type of person that's sitting around saying, I ain't worried about that, it ain't me, then you shouldn't be listening to my show. Because I don't even want you around because you're the type of person that is not willing to do anything about anything. And we just don't need those type of people. Kamar always tells me no matter what happens, Kev, you got to remember this is solution-based radio. Let's not get caught up in talking about the problems. Let's throw some solutions in. Let's talk about what we can do. And I always counter with, well, damn, Kamar, we got to talk about something. So it's a two-headed monster,
Well,
man.
you acknowledge what's fucked up so you can
Right.
deal with it
That's right. That's right.
and come
That's
up
right.
with a solution.
That's right. Shabaka Sankor, greetings from Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Yes, shout out to Shabaka out in California, man, my West Coast conglomerate. We gets down. I gotta get with you, Shabaka. You know what? I've been slipping, man, because like I said, there's been a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm making some transitions, professionally and whatnot. So I gotta get with you, man. I gotta come on your Black Experience, man, on Blog Talk Radio. I always have a great time over there. It's always really pro-black conversation. Mama Jenkins said the ones that these fools are robbing the mail carriers for, these motherfuckers should be out of ammunition, and we got plenty of guns in the hood. Man, this whole city is going crazy, man. It's going crazy. Dion said they're not getting their kids, fam. Sean said, I have some that we need to discuss. I bet you do, Sean. I bet you do. You always do, and you never disappoint. Give me a minute when I bring people in to call, just to call in, and anybody who wants to call in, call in. Man, share the show, share the show, share the show, share the show. Hit the cash app if it so behooves you, as my mama would say. Let's see what we got. Chat room shaking. Ruben Anderson, he said, well, we definitely have issues and they extend beyond this conversation, bro. Let's talk about it. Hey, my brother, you this is Outlaw Radio. This is where we get to, like Kamar says, talk that talk and walk that walk. So we can talk about any and everything tonight. That's what this is about. This is about freedom of speech, right? But we know freedom of speech comes with a price. And some of us will say something, but then they say you throw the rock and hide your hand. If you're gonna talk about it, you got to be about it. If you're gonna speak about it, you got to be about it. Yes, we do, we do, we do. He said, I do it. He said, I heard. You got to keep me up on what you're saying, Ruben. I'm walking and chewing gum at the same time. Shabaka said, "Yes, sir, when you can." Oh man, I'm gonna get with you, Shabaka. I'm gonna get with you. I have fun, man. What I do is this is what I do. So I just want to shout out to y'all, man. To the listeners because the support from everybody in the city is incredible. I really appreciate it, man. This momentum, this thing that we've done in terms of showing how important it is for us to be able to say what we need to say and not always be the recipient of watered down, doctored information. Mainstream media sucks ass. I can say that on Outlaw Radio, I believe. Mainstream media sucks ass, right? They don't give us what we need to know. And so we need outlets. Listen to me, this is very important. We need our own outlets so we can control our own narrative, right? And so we can have difficult conversations, so we can have the conversations that we need to have so we can all be on code. It's very important that we be on code. We'll revisit that. We'll revisit being on code and what that means, and we'll get it together. We're not worried about whether or not we all agree because we know you get different individuals, you get different perspectives and different points of view. But as long as we can agree to disagree and move forward amicably and focus on big picture politics, that's what's important. My brother Sean said I recruited Ruben, bro. He might be outlaw worthy. Sean, if you brought him to the table, I already know it's popping. I already know it's popping, man. John Fletcher said, "Happy New Year, my brothers. We have to train the people to deal with these predators and hunters that will never want to be right in our community." Yes, yes, we talk about this tough love and what justice should look like in our community for people who are counterproductive. Shabaka says, "What is our agenda as a people for 2023?" Y'all on fire tonight. Chat room popping, man. Share the show. Sean Moore said, "KB has a king education, Ruben. Forgive him, please." Yes, yes, yes. And so does Rail. So it's double bubble on here, right? And it's double bubble. He said, "Come on, kick it." Listen, I was a horrible student at King. I represent more after I left. I was horrible. Sean Moore said, "When y'all go mainstream, I need a guest spot." Well, you already got one, Sean. You got in you got in on the ground floor. So you ain't got to worry about it. So look, what's going on? Let's run it down. We'll talk about some national stuff. We're gonna talk about some local stuff. We'll talk about some enlightened things. And people, if you got something you want to talk about, feel free to call in. We're willing to entertain whatever it is that you want to talk about. The number once again is I'm gonna say it slowly in my chopped and screw voice: 262-202-5131. I hate to use that voice because I
That
know the
sound
ladies
like
get worked up.
that's your midnight love
I know,
voice.
I know, I know. I want the ladies to get worked up like, oh shit, yeah, come on now.
He getting his slow jams voice together.
He said, "Is it?" Shabaka said, "Is it too late for me to get a guest spot?" Man, Shabaka, you already know, man. All it takes is a conversation, man. All it takes is I'm a communicator. I believe in communication, so we get clear communication. Thankfully, they have apprehended some suspects in the murder of that postal worker. Um, Now the controversy over this is why was this done? And I saw some people on Facebook, and I see a lot of people talking on Facebook. I usually don't get in because I'm not really equipped to be typing fast. My thumbs are too large. And so I had to, I had to talk about mine. And they're saying allegedly this was a situation where these individuals believed some drugs that are being moved via the mail were taken or intercepted. And there's some people who say that you know, this mailman was, taking things out of and I don't know. Once again, understand this. And if you're listening and it's your family, don't say you on here talking about my cousin was stealing weed out there. I don't know. I'm talking about what the accusations were, and I think we really have to worry about, and we really have to wait until all the facts come out. But this is what this is about. I'm very glad that they got somebody because I cheer for the common man, right? We've made kind of like a society on worshiping celebrities and people who are rich and this kind of thing without really giving up enough for the common man, the working man who's out here doing his 9 to 5, trying to take care of his family. And so anytime you're placed in jeopardy while doing your job, I need justice. So let's talk about justice for a second, because the brother Ruben talked about justice, and Shabaka said, "What's the agenda?" So, Kamar, when we talk about the crime in our community, when we talk about our youngsters who are out here, in the words of Michael Jackson, living off the wall, what kind of justice should we employ? Community wide, what strategy should we take for dysfunctional people, counterproductive people in our
I
community?
think at some point, um, if you ain't in the streets, if you ain't involved in all that street activity and shit, man, at some point we're gonna have to start turning our own people in, man. If they don't want to change shit, I
Okay.
feel like, cause like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if if we can't talk to people and get them to change, to get our community right, for our kids to grow up in this community, we got to figure out a way to get them out the community, because right now they're a cancer to the community.
Okay. And so are we talking in terms of incarceration? I know, and I've
Yeah,
heard you talk about this
yeah,
before, and we walk this thin line because we talk about the crime bill from 94, and we talk about, people's of Biden and Clinton, and when she called us predators. And but like I said, as a member of this community, I remember at the time when black people in our communities were crying out for help. And so when they came in and said we got to put some mandatory minimums down, and it transferred into what we call now mass incarceration. But so we've talked about that. Real, what do you think? What direction should we go in, man, with these? Because you're a property owner and you're also a father. What do you think about this?
Man, it's again, it's one of them things where there's so many smaller parts to it that you don't know which part to attack first. You know what I'm saying? It goes into like there is a part of me who really feel we should have like the stand your ground law and things like that in Wisconsin. I really think that if I think that if more regular folk, I guess I say, are able to, apply lethal force to protecting their property, protecting themselves, things like that. Hopefully, it'll get to a point where it's no longer worth it to the the people that's causing problems to cause problems, because now everybody able to bust back. One of the things that it's
that'll help.
crazy. It's crazy that the lawless bank on the law to keep them safe while they fucking lawless.
Right.
It's like
Hey, I
I can
feel
steal
like
your
Charleston
car, you
White. I
can't
feel
shoot
like
me.
Charleston White. Lock their motherfucking ass up. And whatever happened to them after that is on them. Because, see, overall, it's about a decision, man. We all make decisions in life. You know what I mean? Now, once somebody tell you what you're doing is wrong, you should know better. So
Right.
you make this conscious decision on whether or not you're going to keep fucking our community up. Now, if you're going to keep doing that, it's like it's blatant now. So, yeah, lock their motherfucking ass up.
Vince Tony in the building. He said, "What's up, Outlaw Radio?" Vince is running for first district
Peace,
alternate.
peace.
Support Vince, my man, 50 grand. Dion said this real shit. Mama Jenkins says, "I'm happy also, but what needs to happen is these people that are harboring these criminals should be locked the hell up as well." Okay, okay. Oh, see, that's the conversation
Yeah,
is in motion. John Fletcher says facts. I think right now we as a community collectively are all like, okay, 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 enough is enough. Now, what I don't endorse, and I've said this many times because I wasn't always straight up and down. At one point, I was crooked as a roach leg, and if somebody had a shot me in the midst of doing some of the things that I did as a teenager, I would have never got to progress and evolve and become the individual that I'm proud to be right now as a productive part of the community. And it's a tough conversation to say,
Them are the breaks, man.
right.
Them are the
Well,
breaks. I
yeah.
tell my sons, I got a 17-year-old and 18-year-old son, and I always tell them, be mindful of who you kick it with, Be mindful of your next few moves because everybody isn't privileged enough to live through a bad decision.
That's right.
So when if like thankfully you didn't get, off while you was on dumb shit, but if you did, occupational hazard. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, hey,
Yep.
like I mean, as a
That's the shit.
kid,
That's the shit that happens in their career.
my parents told us not to play in other people's backyard. You get shot that way. I
Mhm.
still played in other people's backyard. Now, had I got shot playing in other people's backyard, my parents couldn't really say no shit, because it was just, hey, some shit you just, you fortunate enough to live through if you can, but otherwise, it's within the other people's right to not allow you to too.
Yeah, that's why I say it's a conscious decision you make. You know what I mean? It's a career decision.
I what I don't want is dysfunctional people to do dysfunctional things. And when I say that, I mean some adults who may have a car or you may have some material property. And I will never ever say that a 17 or 18-year-old or any age, their life is worth, stealing some speakers out your car.
Are they
Um,
aware that they doing something wrong? Are they aware that they fucking with somebody else shit? Like you
Absolutely.
can't
Hey,
you can't control how somebody react to you, doing an infraction against them.
and
You
according
know,
to
so that's why you just don't do shit. That's why you don't do shit because you don't have the right to tell people how to react to you doing shit.
and according
So
and according to God law, you do have the right to do something to them.
shit. Willie
mm,
Manchester, y'all seen South Central? Willie
right.
Manchester was
Well,
all up
divine
in.
law, I'm gonna say, not God law, I'm gonna say divine law. According to divine law, you do have the right to do something to a man that steals from you or
I
harm.
like I like what Ruben Anderson is saying in the chat room.
So
He says, well,
whatever
first
happened,
off, we
happened.
must ask ourselves, where's the leadership? Where are the bishops, pastors, deacons, aldermen, NAACP, NAACP?
Well, we've been asking that. We've been asking that for a long time. They ain't
he,
around. We
he said,
passed that part.
what light do we
I
do
feel like
they
we
have?
passed that
What
part.
light have they had? Ruben says, nah, bruh. He said it shouldn't be like that. Okay, okay. I'm just catching up to the chat room. John Fletcher, shout out to John Fletcher. He said your time should depend on your record. These ninjas who are kept offending have to go. It's part of the reason why you see justice for Denari, because we wholeheartedly support the Peer family, and this is getting light now that the individual who paid a $50,000 cash bail for a homicide suspect and ultimately ended up, engaged in a behavior that took their son's life. That was on the news. It's in the People's News Network. If you're not in the
Yeah, I
People's
saw it.
News
I saw it
Network,
on the news.
go join
So,
the People's
bro.
News Network. That's our sister group. Um, he said, then times have changed, my brother. The world is different. It is. And okay, and as like I said, as a former knucklehead, I have to have some empathy for youngsters who got the wrong idea, right?
You don't
And
have to.
well, I do. I feel like I do. I feel like I
There you
do. And
go.
professionally, once again, what I've done is work with so many youth over the years who have been the unfortunate victims of some really negative and really bad circumstances. And I was blessed with some strong parents, some really strong parents, right? And some old school Southern parents who laid down kind of like a code of ethics. And when I went left, at a certain point, I realized that that wasn't even who I was or where I should be because I didn't have any excuse. And there's kids who don't have that. And I'm not standing here saying save the world, or I'm not a tree hugger. I'm saying we have to give some of these individuals empathy where it's due. But now we do have some
Man,
people.
you
Kamar,
just said lock the 10-year-old up. Throw away
you
the
said,
key.
no, you did. You're right. You said some people are making decisions. And I was very harsh about saying I felt like the 10-year-old should have been placed in the House of Corrections or in Walpon because he killed his mama and tried to buy a VR headset. So I'm the same dude, right? Sometimes sometimes I'm cold, sometimes I'm hot, right? Right. um John Fletcher said them times. Okay, I got that one. Shabaka says share the show on the like page of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. I appreciate that, man. Share the show, man. We need all the help we can get. We're trying to build up momentum, y'all. What we're trying to put together here in terms of our voice in this city, I think is unprecedented. And if we get the support of the community and we get the support of the people, The information that we need for our community will be distributed and disseminated. I can make you that promise. And so when I say support the show, share the show, if you got it, hit the Cash app. It's all relative, man, because what we're trying to do here is change this narrative. I think a lot of people in Milwaukee are just misinformed, and a large percentage of them would make better decisions. I don't want to sound cliche, but it's true. If you knew better, you would truly do better. And I think
That,
understanding is, my father used to say, ain't nothing like an understanding, man. Ain't nothing like an understanding.
hey, and see, and that's why I say, you know what I mean? Like for a lot of these knuckleheads out here, man, I can't have no empathy because it's people telling them you doing wrong, man. You wrong. They know they do it wrong. They running from the police and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So no, I ain't got no empathy, man. At this point, didn't nobody have no empathy for me
That's true. They
coming
locked
up.
your ass
When I
up.
got arrested, I went the fuck to jail. Do
You
not
did.
pass go. Do not
Right.
collect $200, nigga.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yes,
I
sir.
made the fucked up decision to do what I did. You know what I mean? And I had to go and get corrected. You know, now
Yes.
prison was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's where I started my change. You know what I mean? Or at least a drastic change in my life, I feel like.
Okay.
So yeah, you know what I mean? No, I ain't got no empathy. Lock that motherfucking ass up. It's gonna be good for some of them. Some niggas go to jail, some niggas go to jail and get right.
Okay.
Some niggas go to jail and get worse.
That's true. That's
But
true.
if you
And
fucking up the community, you need to go.
Shabaka says we need to emphasize more solid values of community, youth in their formative years. Sadiq Free Sr. What's up, my brother? Welcome to Outlaw Radio. He says, so we just keep killing each other over bad moves or decisions as teenagers. We do. It's so many reasons behind it. And like the brother Ruben said, our leadership. Let's talk about our leadership for a minute, just here in Milwaukee. Because we were overjoyed last year when we got our black mayor and we had what they call the Black Seven. Because think about this right now. At this point, we live in a city that's 40% black with a black mayor, a black police chief, a black sheriff, a black county executive. Um, you know, need I go on and on and on? We have all
And our
these,
black schools suck.
right? Well, we got a black superintendent of
Well,
schools as
schools in the
well,
black
right?
communities, suck.
So
With all that black leadership.
So with that, because we talk about politics, and one of the lines that we have on Outlaw Radio is those of us who believe in the political process and those who say that's some bullshit. And I always say it's really, it's about who you have in office. It's about, and we have 5 aldermanic positions that are vacant. Vince Tony is running for one. I see my sister Jazzy is running. Jasmine Tyler is running for the 9th district now. So there's some qualified people who are running, and we got to get them. We got to get the right people in office, or else we can't expect it to work. Now, our mayor. Let's talk about our mayor. He said, they've always been around. It's a new day. Our mayor, and what the concern was with the mayor was that he was a tool for Barrett, and that he was Barrett's kind of like little, lawn jockey, and he would kind of continue up the narrative of let's build up downtown and really, um, uh, you know, bring in gentrification because that's the only way this city will be redeemed. And I don't see anything to counter that opinion. I haven't seen groundbreaking decision making. I haven't seen forward thinking. And maybe it's in process, but he only had 2 years. Remember, so this year is basically his second year, and we're gonna have another election. Hire your ass, fire your ass. Uh, Mama Jenkins says the solution to these animal acts, such as so many homicides, cases unsolved, and these people that got these motherfuckers in their damn house should be locked up ASAP. What's wrong with these same assholes are getting out on bail and committing more crimes? Lock their asses up, fuck the bails, because you got criminals bailing out criminals. Yes, Shabaka, you're right. The NAACP is defunct, especially in Milwaukee. I gotta call a spade a spade. The NAACP in Milwaukee, along with the Urban League and a bunch of other places, they're just not doing anything. They are just not providing the services that they need to provide. They can say, you don't know what you're talking about. People get to come in here and do job applications all day. Come on, man. Like some of y'all's offices are in the most decrepit communities, and it's happening around you, and you bust your ass getting up out of there at 5 o'clock so you can get back to your comfortable place of living. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You need to get up out of there before they rob you. Sean Moore said there are institutions such as the NAACP with the right leadership can be a tool. I'll be running for that position in the near future. Is the model of the NAACP is antique? It's outdated because we know, because we've talked about it. The NAACP was established by people who were not us, and it was established to support their agenda. It was established to create divisiveness in the community and make sure Black
Mm-hmm.
intellectuals never align themselves with Marcus Garvey. We know that that's an established thing. Joel Springarm, look him up. I'm not going to tell you about it. Look it up.
What was that? The
Now, if you can get a
Niagara
hold of that and
Convention?
change it, then it'll be good. Go ahead, Rail.
Oh no, I was saying, what was that? The Niagara Convention that
The
they
Niagara
fucked up?
Convention,
Yeah.
W.E.B. Du Bois, Du Bois, and you know, government conspirator against Marcus
Uh-huh.
Garvey. Like
Uh-huh.
y'all got to do the read, man.
Always. Oh, that Black Messiah thing, man. They
Absolutely,
can't
it's been in place, man. The whole world is scared of Black unity and Black empowerment. It's America, as Malcolm would say, it's American as apple pie, but it's a global thing.
It
God
is,
forbid
man.
Africa get their shit together and say we finna kick out
Hey,
all
well,
interlopers.
you see, Zimbabwe put a ban on
Lithium,
exporting. Yeah,
yeah,
they said you want them motherfucking electric cars, you better build that shit here. And I'm like, yeah, do y'all thing, man. That's a power move. Eventually, they're gonna say, they're gonna be some American troops there talking about they reestablishing democracy and
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, we got your back now. We got your back now. Come on, niggas. Just don't get on the boat. Tiarsha said, good evening, Kevin, Kamar, Rel, the Outlaw family. Tiarsha, what's up? Got my
Peace.
flip phone on deck. Dion says, it's a different form when we grow up than when we grew up. They're horrible. Is it though? Is it though? Is it though? Vince said, what side of the fence am I on? You know what, Vince? That's a complicated question because I'm a complicated man and no one understands me but my woman. Yeah. um, but no, you know what? I'm on our side always, and I do understand that. I think I cannot remember who called into the show that time and said, "Why are y'all looking at this saying system is broken? The system is not working. The system is doing exactly what it's designed to do."
Exactly.
Which is
Exactly.
trip us up and make us fail. It's doing what it's supposed. That thing is thanging, as they say. It's running along smoothly. So I have to be aware. But I like Kamar said, screw empathy. I have to have some empathy just because somebody has some. For me, I have a 16-year-old son who can be a knucklehead at times. I can see his decision making sometimes be flawed, not to the point where he's out here shooting and looting, but it takes me constant direction and misdirection, saying no. I have to explain accountability to my son a lot. Like whenever I say something to you and you say, but so and so and so, I don't give a damn about that.
Mm.
Well, it ain't me. It can't always not be you. At a certain point, it has to be you. And I tell him, you're never going to really fully develop as a man unless you really develop your sense of accountability and say, you know what, this on me. Because I done
Right.
messed up plenty times and step back and say, no, this on me. I ain't gonna even blame this on nobody else. I was on some bullshit and some bullshit happened. Right. So I try to teach him that. And I think as a community, if we start telling our young men, we made these laws more harsh. So you gotta know when those consequences
Mm.
come, don't be crying. We're not gonna save you. We're gonna let you go. You're gonna go out in deep water, we're gonna let you swim or sink, right? And maybe that will change their perspective. So if you ask me what side of the fence I'm on the Black side. I'm a proud man of color, but I believe that if you love somebody or something, you should be honest to it or about it. And
No
I
doubt.
love Black people. And I love the Black community, but I have to be honest about it's been times when I'm driving and I'm seeing things and I'm saying that's some dumb shit right there. Come on, man. Some shit really qualifies as nigga shit. I say that's some nigga shit right there. And I don't even like to throw that term around loosely. Like you really got to earn that title. Tiarsha says she disagrees with me. Some of these mofos know better. I refuse to give them an
I
excuse.
think, hey Kev, in a sense, I understand what you're saying, but I think with me, it's a little more sympathy, right,
Okay.
for the knuckleheads, because you know what I mean. I don't know where they done been. I don't know about their life, what they done been through to got them to this point. So it's a little more sympathy. But like I say, all I could do if I could tell them what's happening. You know what I mean, and that's it. It's on them. After that point, it's a decision that they have to make. And if they gonna keep making that decision, shit, nigga, fuck
Gotta get it. You gotta
you.
get it. Get it. Right? That's why my mom used to say, "Your ass go in the wagon, come too." Right? Like she say, ain't no bad men. All the bad men is dead. John Dillinger got killed. He was the baddest man ever. I used to be little saying, "Who the hell is John Dillinger?" Shabaka said, "We need some sense of community within self destruction. Is astronomical. We have to train our truth." Our youth, I'm sorry, early. Yeah, we got to get to them early. And I'm right now, I really want something in place for our little babies because God forbid that they repeat this cycle of dysfunction and destruction because we don't have that much time left. Before they really employ this real gentrification and isolate us out into some suburban communities that they don't want because they want to be urban. They want this land. We live on prime real estate in the city of
Most
Milwaukee.
definitely. Most
They want
definitely.
this shit back because they ran off and left it. He said that's the problem right there. Prison has never been the answer and shall never be the answer. Okay. So then we get back to the same thing. If not prison, then what? So like
Right.
it,
So now
you
we
know,
keep bumping our heads. I mean, it's got to be some kind of punishment, man, to make a motherfucker decide to change their mind. Otherwise, you're gonna keep doing it. That's how the criminal mind works. You commit one crime, you get away with it. It usually get worse and worse. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying? And it don't never stop. So how do you get it to stop then?
right,
How do you
right.
how do you deter a motherfucker from making that decision?
Yes.
How do you deter a motherfucker from deciding I'm finna go jump in this car and steal it and just ride around a motherfucking city and kill somebody? How do you deter a motherfucker from that? If jail ain't it?
Sean says this is on us as well. Think about it. My situation has been known for years. There's an election going on, and no one has called for an investigation into that establishment since this groundbreaking evidence. Yeah. City attorney, treasurer. Shout out to Tierman Spencer. Just had a great conversation with Tierman last night. John Fletcher said, "Black true, follow the money. That's who's making the changes." The money, the money, the money, the money, the money. That money is so crucial. He said, "Facts, brother. Black politicians and administrators must be held more accountable." Yeah, we say hold them accountable, but that means getting rid of them. Look,
Yeah,
we
that's how
just
you
sat
hold them
for about
accountable.
the better part of about 12 to 14 years with the same individuals downtown. And we kept on giving them excuse after excuse after excuse. And they kept making promises saying, "No, we gonna do it. Y'all just hold on. Hold on. Rome wasn't built in a day, and hold on." And when shit got hot, they all vacated. Where they at now? With no real changes being done, the community is in a worse situation than it was when they came, and they're all going on to bigger and better things, right? They've all gotten other jobs. Those who ain't locked up. Vince Tony said, "I wasn't overjoyed. More of them Barretts and Abley house niggas." A lot of people felt good. First black man, and people lined up around the mayor when he became Obama point 0.2 and was, "Oh, we're gonna make more people." And then he came out with this same old violin talking about, "Let's repair our relationship with the state legislature in Madison." Negro, please. Madison should be getting down on their knees, kissing our arse, as the Irish people say. No place in this state generates as much tax revenue as this city. And I'm here to tell you, black people are the largest consumers in everything, and that generates tax revenue. So when you stop playing, we start talking about following the money, but we won't get into some economic boycotts. I've always said everything will start for us with an economic boycott of some shape, form, or fashion until they say, "Oh, Pink Jordan's coming out Saturday," and we line up around the corner. And voter turnout is at 12%. Come on, y'all. We got to do better. He said that's the smoke screen. Um, Mama Jenkins. She said they don't have any funds, plus they had the wrong damn leadership for a long time. They've been on the buddy system for a while. The NAACP is corrupt. Those niggas fighting amongst themselves. Been dysfunctional. Been dysfunctional. My brother Ruben Anderson, he said the black police chief allowed white police officers to kill Quavante Moffett and attempted to cover it up. The black police chief told us that Jaheim Clark committed suicide, but we now know that he suffered two fatal injuries by gunshots to the head and under the chin. It was Fred Royal, a black man, that got Sean Moore into the mess he's in. The mayor, a black man whom I spoke with about the corruption within the district attorney's office, did as each of these house niggas did, nothing. Man,
Hey,
I like that, bro.
Ain't Fred Royal the dude that used to be the NAACP dude?
He was the former president. He's the former president. And yeah. You remember he was on the show, remember,
Yeah,
Kamar?
that's all I know.
Yeah, we had a oh my goodness, we had a great I wish I gotta start digging some of these shows up, man. Uh Great conversation with him in which we basically proved in a very diplomatic way that y'all ain't doing shit.
They ain't
I
doing
gotta
shit.
check your inbox, Dion. I didn't get to check it yet. He said, "No, it doesn't, brother. We need to talk. We can do this." I believe we can do anything, but I think conversation rules the nation. Let's talk about this tax revenue and the pilfering of it. That's why we said follow the money, Sean. That's why we said follow the money. Mama Jenkins says prison has saved a lot of people's lives, and these motherfuckers need to be in jail. Kamar, you right? Throw the damn keys away. These thugs, just a one-track mind, and they destroy or kill people. Shit. Vince says, Kev, you right. Nothing wrong with these kids except that their dysfunctional behaviors are from the lack of parenting, 4 or 5 decades of teenage pregnancy. Kids still raising kids, having worked in CPS for 8 years. I've seen it all. Yeah. And so poverty, we haven't discussed the poverty. Listen, one thing that we as a people brushed off is when Skippy Walker took the money that was received for the housing crisis from the city of Milwaukee, when Rocky Marco, who at the time was, I guess, for all intents and purposes, was a planner, admitted that some CDBG money, community development block grant money, which is federally allocated money, I think it's up to $22 million a year. That's supposed to be given to underserved cities and areas to improve the infrastructure. They diverted it downtown. He admitted this, like people didn't say anything. Our common council, all those brothers and sisters voted for this train, this trolley. And I'm going to tell you, we've explained many times about the tax incremental funds in which basically they borrowed against the property tax to say that that train would be able to raise the tax revenue, the property tax money, so that we would generate more money. Well, it does it even run when it's wet outside? It goes in a circle, like and so even at the time, well, let's just extend it 2 blocks. Nope. And Skippy Walker was quick to say at the time, we're not supporting that train shit. If it break down, it's on y'all. We're not supporting it, right? And they voted for Massa Bear to do it. And he was able to do all these things. You talk about a downtown of a major city that doesn't have a mall, that has a very small retail increment. It's luxury apartments. They turned a whole mall into luxury apartments. Please tell me who lives there. Now, I also tell you this, the coincidence is all those sky rises downtown, those high rise, those skyscrapers, and those corporate headquarters that we do have, who works there? Not us, unless we security guards or unless we're custodians, which not knocking nobody's hustle. Okay. But who do you think they're building that for? Until they can get these neighborhoods gentrified and get these property taxes that we've looked at property owners who have dealt with super crazy increases up to 78 to 190% in raising their property taxes because they want you to say, I can't do this shit. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move. And then those people from downtown can creep right up Burleigh. And Burleigh will look like it used to when those good old Germans held down the north side of Milwaukee. I don't know if people know that North Milwaukee used to be called Little Germany because that's where all the Germans live. The north side, they call it, if you look at a map, it says Old North Milwaukee. Now we call it the north side, where all the crime is, where all the shooting and looting is. So y'all got to have some historical context to this, and say if we don't understand the past, we're destined to repeat it. Vince says, Ruben says, Vince said it all. It goes back to leadership. I believe that. Sean says, say man, you can't keep sending me the voicemail, bro. I'm a guest, Negro. Or actually, you're a caller, not a guest, or you'd have got a link. I don't know why the phone is going to voicemail. Let me see what's going. Everything should be everything on here. I don't know why it's going to voicemail. Let me do something right quick. It's all machinery. If I had V100's budget, I'd have their phone system, so I'd never miss a call. That's why y'all got to hit the cash. Shout out to Patience Phillip. Shout out to Patience. Patience, y'all got it cracking. Y'all on their heels. Justice for Denari. I seen that. People in hot water. He backed up off of that bail, didn't he? He said, "I don't want no problems." The news called him. He told the news, "I don't want no problems. I don't want that." And he went and got the $50,000. And this individual is somebody who does like he works with young people, right? And so
But he didn't even work with him. That was what was crazy about that situation. He didn't even work with the boy.
okay, okay. Um, he said, "I'm late." Of course, I'm late. Sometimes you sing, sometimes you play the piano. I just happen to be doing both. Dion said, he sent me an inbox. It's about a murder. Somebody who's accused of a murder. Let me catch up on that, Dion. Give me a second. He said, Vince says the last mayor photo op, Fred Royal standing next to Johnson Barrett, did get his childhood choo-choo train. So the Uncommon Council gave him his childhood dream. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb right now and say I think that a lot of us would be surprised. A lot of people would be surprised if you know what the Common Council actually supported people on. Like they were so counterproductive, and these communities just suffered under our last regime. But I've been places where they came into the building and people acted like they were celebrities. Like Mayor Barrett, man. Listen, a lot of you revolutionary Negroes who are militant and who stand on all these principles. I seen Barrett come into the room and you went to buck dancing. Who Mayor Barrett's here? Oh, I was gonna go talk to him. And I'm saying, man, dude ain't fucking with you. Oh no, he gave me his card. He said he gonna call me. I asked him a couple weeks later, "Hey, did Tommy ever call you back?" He's calling Bad News Barrett. He ever call you back? No, he ain't call me. Call down there, leave a voice message. But it was over and over. I only seen a few people that would tell him, like, nah, man, you on some bullshit. And I can't remember where I was. It was a job. I was working somewhere, and he came in, and everybody stood up for him and clapped, and I didn't get up. I stayed seated, and I didn't clap. And somebody came to me and said, "What you doing?" I said, "What the fuck? What are you doing? What you clapping for? What you so happy to see him for? He don't give a shit about us." I'm glad he's gone, but I fear that, maybe he got a puppet down there that's continuing his agenda so he can run it from Luxembourg. Scott Epicet, man, Scott, you ain't been around in a minute. He said they're building all these downtown apartments for all people that have advanced literacy that work in office buildings, black, white, brown, and especially Asians. Yeah, you can say that. I'd like to know how many brown. I'm not
Well,
tripping on Asian.
the thing is, if you brown, you know what I mean, and you got the money, you can live there. But you know what I'm
Maybe,
saying? That's the issue. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, they take your money, kid. I think. You know what I mean?
maybe,
But the problem is they moving everybody else out of their areas, out of their communities. You know what I mean? To do this, to change all this shit and relocating motherfuckers. So people who really ain't got no good job, you know what I mean, that could have been working somewhere down there to be able to pay for it, they can't. So they
right,
gotta go. Like
right.
that shit ain't cool, man. Like making people
Well,
move and shit
I'm
by
not quick
raising.
to say. Come on. I'm not quick to say if you got the money, you can move down there, especially in a country and in a city where we have a history of redlining, in which black people had money, and they still wouldn't let us purchase, and they made up excuses. They're very exclusive. They still control their own narrative, so they're very exclusive. They could tell you anything. We don't have any vacancies at this time.
Well, what I'm saying though, like, okay, if you own a house and you doing good enough to keep up with your bills, your payments and everything, your taxes and all that shit, you can stay there. You can live there,
Ideally,
is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? For the most part, right?
unless you living in Wauwatosa or somewhere and they harass the shit out of you.
Well, yeah, I ain't talking about the harassments and shit. I'm just saying, you know what I mean, to be able to live through the whole gentrification process
Yeah,
and not have to move. You know what I mean? Like,
I think I'd be able to survive gentrification financially. I'd be able to survive it. I don't got to go nowhere. But if it affects my people, it affects me. And I
right.
think that the black people who can live in those buildings, Kamar, are the exception, not the norm. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like to say, well, it ain't no black people
Right.
working downtown. That's a
Exactly,
misnomer.
exactly. I'm right with you on that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah,
yeah,
they're an exception and not the norm, and that's the problem. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Everybody should have the opportunity to be able to live anywhere they want to live.
Yeah, if you're talking about a city with such large income disparities, in which we talk about median income, and ours is 29.5 and theirs is 30, right? If we talk about home ownership, there's a lot of income disparities, and it's flat. It's you can go up North Avenue and you go all the way up North Avenue until you get to 59th. And once you get to 60th and it turns to Wauwatosa, it's a whole different planet. Everything looks different. And that's been done on our backs.
Hey,
Um,
what's going on, Mr. Bond?
how you doing? Who's this? Who's calling?
Oh, this is Shabbat the St. Cordy, executive producer of Shabbat Black Experience and Shabbat Frontline Black News.
What's going on, brother Shabaka?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm just checking you out, man. Yeah, you're making a lot of sense right there. And his brother Kamar was saying, man, yeah, make these motherfuckers more accountable, man. They're going out there with self-destruction and all that old type of shit. Thinking that shit is cool, man, but look who it affects. It affects the elderly, it affects the community. Or it affects those that's trying to do the right thing, get on the right track. You know what I mean? And we just got to be more held accountable, man. And then also too on that, this is where we got to build our infrastructures on the educational trip, on the commercial trip, and on the political trip, and have it work all in one man as a fit. Because this is all these other groups are doing. You see, and they capitalizing us off of us big time. Just like a Central African nation, I believe it was Malawi recently that just signed over all the damn cobalt deposits, man, to the United States. Just throwing money right out the window against us. You see what I mean?
Right.
And y'all is right, man. What's the up with these Negroes, man? And then keep in mind, Milwaukee, is a chocolate city, as they call it, because out here in the West, man, we don't have too many. I mean, you got a lot of us there in Los Angeles, you got a lot of us up there in Panther County, and across the bay in San Francisco, a few in Sacramento, man, a couple of us down here in San Diego. Portland, we got a few, and then Seattle, Washington, and that's it. And then, of course, out here in Las Vegas, where I'm calling you from, as well too. But not a stronghold like what they have on the other side of the Mississippi River. You see what I mean?
Right.
And then in here, we need to start building up some industrialization, providing ourselves some jobs, and then going to the young people in their formative years, giving them basic skills, man. It's great to go get a college degree. I went to two universities myself, you know what I mean? But still, though, they're stripping away, man, like what Umar Johnson was saying recently, man, all the basic trades, plumbing, carpentry, masonry work, stuff like that. And then they took all the shops outside of the high schools, electrical shop, wood shop. You see, in other words, they took away the tools, for our youth, to make them a living in their productive years, in their early productive years. Because you got your formative years and you got your productive years. Then you get up here with me, man, that man who's got his last few years, you see what I mean? And then the self destruction in the black community, as we know, is all astronomical. But out here on the West Coast, man, this is why you always hear me crumb bumming on Hollywood for setting up the imagery of this bullshit. You see what I mean?
Right. Got you. Got you. Got you.
Yeah, you
I'm gonna
see,
get
so
a chance to come on onto the Black Experience and chop it up with you.
oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. And it's always a pleasure, man. So I just had to call you, man, get a couple of comments in. So I'm going to check out the rest of the show and keep commenting, man, because, we got to have black media, become more and more powerful. Because as you know, the media influence a lot of our youth, you see. So therefore, so if we instill good values and proper values and values, for self-prosperity and anti-self-destruction, you see what I mean? That build, could help, for the next generation, you see, because all the stuff operates long term. And as we all know, the Europeans, when we went there and invaded the continent of Africa, to merge other cultures other than Africans as well too. He always established this shit, man, for a long time.
That's right. That's right. We appreciate the love, my brother. We appreciate it, man. Stay with us.
Yeah,
Stay
well,
with
yes,
us.
sir.
Stay with us. Stay
Oh,
with us.
absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and all of y'all are welcome to come on Shabaka's Black Experience in Hand. And then also to check us out on Frontline Black News, man, on the StreamYard as well too, the co-executive producer of Shabaka's Black Experience in Hand. Chan Kuma, otherwise known as Jesse Paris, who's running for mayor of Denver, Colorado. He hosts that, and it's generally, like on Saturday night, and I believe like about 9 p.m. in Eastern time. So And I think you brothers are all fair and essential, so that there would be like 10 p.m. in your time. So.
Yeah, I just got to coordinate the Outlaws. We gonna shoot y'all a kite.
Oh yes, sir. Most definitely, most definitely.
All right,
But
my brother.
hey, yes, sir. Make it happen. So I'm gonna keep on checking out the rest of the show and comment, man. Just had to say greetings to you, brother.
Gotcha. My brother Shabaka St. Core. Shout out to Che with his run for mayor of Denver. Mama Jenkins, she said that's okay. The Indians will be taking over Milwaukee real soon. They getting a lot of shit done in the valley, and they ain't giving this city shit but peanuts. Well, this is the same story, the same shit that happened in my nephew case. The white boy put up the bail and went and got his. Yeah, he did. He went and got his money back. He went and said, I don't need this. I don't need this drama. Ilona Pierce, she said, I'm watching. I'm so damn proud of my family. Patience, Jackie, Nikki, love you all. Yeah, it's a lot of heat coming from the end of that couch with the pressure they putting down for these low bails, man. And I'm loving watching it. It's a beautiful thing. Sean Moore said, don't start no shit, Scott. Scott Evans Scott Evans said, he said, don't start no shit. Scott dips in and dips out. He's gonna drop a
Don't start some shit.
right, he gonna drop a flame in the gasoline, a match in the gasoline eventually. Mama Jenkins said $100,000 back, and he said he didn't know the criminal either. That's crazy that he would do that. Scott's talking about Shabaka. He said, "Whoa, tell him to slow down and throw some pauses in." Scott, that's how black people talk, man. We spit it, we spit it, we spit. We go in the paint, man. Uh, he said, "You know what I mean?" He's actually trying to make fun of Shabaka. I don't know if he wants that smoke. Sean Moore, you are on deck. What's going on, my brother?
Damn, took you long enough to let me get in. What's
Man, black
what's
people
happening,
always
Kamar? What's
complaining.
happening, real?
Always
What up,
How
Sean?
y'all
complaining.
Peace,
doing, man?
peace.
You cannot
How
Chilling,
you and
man.
win.
real, Kamar? How you and real doing tonight?
We
We
good.
are
We good,
good.
Sean.
He sound like he
Yeah,
want this
I'm
call to
alright,
be
man. I'm
quick.
alright,
He
man.
want this call to be quick, right?
What's happening, KB?
Martin say,
So
respect
listen,
my house.
yeah, I'm respecting your house, man. Yeah, I want to speak on a couple issues that tie in together, and it's coming out of my investigation into the hotspot. Most people think that this is about the drugs and violence, but it's even uh get gets gets deeper, because after looking at what I had uncovered and going a little bit deeper, I want y'all to think about something. Every bottle of liquor, pack of cigarettes, blunts, whatever, there's a tax on these products, right? And these taxes that would be used to, repair our roads and enhance our quality of life in these neighborhoods that would go to these schools. Um, they're not being taxed properly because they're avoiding the taxation by selling these products for Quest cards. Now, imagine if you have one of these stores in each neighborhood, right? Imagine how much money is being diverted from the city and kept from the city and these services. We talk about the money that Madison is holding, but how much money has been stolen in the past 10 years by these stores that we continue to give their licenses to and these permits to without any accountability.
Yeah, I think that there definitely needs to be some sort of system to check these stores. They are more often than not the most dysfunctional areas in these neighborhoods because there's
Yes,
so
they
much
are.
going on at these stores. There's and if you from the block and you from the turf, you understand how it works, and you say that's a cool Arab right there. He let us do this
Yeah,
or
but
he
I
let us
want
do that.
people got to look at it a little bit different and look at the correlation between these stores and the violence, the crime, the desecration of our neighborhoods, and how this is an open attack on our quality of life. And we have leadership that is allowing this to take place. So they go before this board of leaders that we have elected to serve our interests.
But so this comes back, Sean. My question to that would be, we
Hmm.
just talked about accountability. It comes back to us because
Hmm.
we patronize the stores. If we didn't
What did I
spend
just
our
say?
money,
This is on us.
right? Yeah, yeah,
However, see, it's on us, but we also depend on those that we elect to keep us abreast of what's going on and to attack these attacks on us.
right, right.
They're not doing their job, and many of us in our community, we aren't doing our jobs because we continue to stand silent when we see this happening, or we be like, well, you know what, fuck it, ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. Now that shit has to stop. Like I said earlier, like I quoted earlier, um, we have an election going on in that very community, right? And it's 7, 8, 9 people over there running, right? And with these new developments, with this new evidence that everybody can see, there has been one call for that store to come up to for a special election. And I was told that all somebody has to do is file the paperwork, and they can come up for a special election. Now, you may not want to get involved because of the fear factor and all that, but if you want to represent that community, one of the first jobs that you should do before you even take office is make sure that that place is closed down because it's hurting your constituents or who you want to be your constituents. Don't wait until you get into office and then start trying to change stuff. The change needs to take place now. That's what leaders do.
I don't disagree.
If you're waiting to be elected to be a leader, then maybe you shouldn't be elected.
I don't disagree.
Leaders are not made; they're born.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I think and it's not just that, and that's an important one. But this is citywide where this
Yes,
needs to be addressed in all these districts, and
and you
even if
said 5 seats,
right,
right?
right,
5 seats. Those 5 seats can change the direction of the city. Just those 5 seats. If you get 2 of those seats to stand fast, right, on behalf of the people and the interest of people, that can, if they make enough money, their community will support them. If they go in there and start working like they're supposed to, they will get that support. It may not be as large as they would like initially, but that support will grow continuously. But I want to hear the leaders now. I'm tired of hearing about what they're gonna do when they get in office. Show me some of your leadership skills and abilities now, because the people are in need now.
yeah, I agree. And that's the conversation that we're having. That's the gist of the conversation. We have to
I
go.
understand that,
We got to throw the ball
but
to Kamar and
I'm
say
gonna go back
solution
to the
based
Kamar.
radio.
I'm gonna go right. I was just about to go back to Kamar, the great Kamar. Um, where's the solution? Where's the solutions? We know that the leadership is failing, but many of these people are trying to be leaders. They're trying to take on that role of leadership. So what are you going to do different? Nobody has said what they're going to do, KB. Nobody.
I think
And that's what we need to hear right now.
I think it's important to have forums, and I think people, and that's one of the things that Vince wanted to do is get everybody together on the show and talk
They're
about
not
what
coming.
they right that we know.
Hold on. We're not going to play this, okay? They're not coming. They have shown that. So, okay, since they're not coming, then let's find out what is Vince going to do, and let's go from there. And if we can get somebody else on, then we find out what they're going to do. If they're not going to come on, then we're gonna blast them for not coming on, because your people need to hear from you, and we're not hearing nothing right now.
I agree. Good points. Good points. Ruben said, I'd like to ask a question. There's a young brother who suffers from mental illness. He was seen on Facebook passing a gun around. Police arrived to investigate, only to go to the wrong door. The occupant shot police, and now the young man is blamed for the police being shot. The court ordered a competency hearing a year ago. His bail is $25,000. Yeah, 25,000. Is that right? Okay. His mother is being forced to pay men to protect him. He can barely write his name. His attorneys told him he was too poor to ask for bail. It cut off. I don't know if we got a character limitation on that. So he's talking about some specific with a young man who had mental health issues. And that's another issue in our community. Shabaka says it sounds like Los Angeles. He said they fit the standard for license revocation in terms of these stores.
Mm-hmm.
Shabaka said this brother's spitting truth. He's talking about Sean. Shout out to Shabaka. He agrees with what you say. Scott said, is Lena still operating? Yeah, she's running for judge.
Unfortunately,
She's
yeah.
running for judge, right? I'm trying to get Lena on. I don't like to, I like to have people be able to, if people say your name, you got the right to throw, get back. I try to get her on. We see if she got time. Shabaka said we must build our own stores and instill in our youth the values of self-determination. Yeah, we've been saying that forever, and it still ain't happened. I'm old enough to remember when these corner stores were owned by black people in our community.
Hey, but you know what, Kev? Hey, let me jump in. I know for a fact we do have more black stores opening up. Like it's on the rise. We can't say it ain't happening. You know what I mean? Like we in process. You know what I'm saying? It's in progress, or
Okay.
there is progress being made on that end. I feel like because I keep popping up with different stores that want me to put products in, and these be black stores that support me. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I say, we gotta stay kind of high vibrational about this. You know what I mean? Because it is a change being made. I'm seeing shit happening. It just ain't moving as fast as we would like it to.
It's moving too damn slow. Shout out to Sharon Evans. She said no. Ruben said people are not ready for this conversation. On point, relevant, and needs to be addressed. Appreciate that, my brother. We do what we can. Mama Jenkins says, speak truth, Sean. Single cigarettes and rotten ass meat and vegetables sold in our hood. All this is done with federal food stamps. Gas stations are selling drugs, not gas, and pimping at the pumps. Leaders build foundations. I'm just catching up with the chat room, y'all. Ruben says, words are nothing but noises. It's the person with the power that determines what the meaning shall be. Words are nothing. Okay, I read that already with my King education. Shabaka said he's right. Scott says, and yet, Sean, your voters keep voting for the same shit leaders. Can't disagree with him there. That's what we just got done talking about.
I just told Scott don't start no shit, Scott. You really don't want to come from there.
Mama Jenkins.
And I can't even argue with Scott shit.
Well, on that one, he's not wrong though, because
Right,
that's true.
right.
Like,
I can't argue with him.
Not
I
on
need him
that.
to say some more. I need him to say some asinine shit so I can get at him.
Yeah, we tend to want to give Scott the flames, but every now and then, even a broken clock is right 2 times a day, right? Mama Jenkins said most of these city leaders know what the fuck is going on in this city, but there's no real leaders that will stand flat-footed and demand change because they're professional politicians. They're party tools. This is why on Outlaw Radio, I don't subscribe to any black people got to be Democrats or sensible black people are Republicans. The interests of the people are the interests of the people. That's why they call us the party poopers, because we poop on both parties. Ben says, I've been in front of the Uncommon Council 3 years advocating for the hotspot liquor license not to be renewed. The community renewed his license each time. I personally talked to the owner, told him in his face, it's not personal. He lives in Franklin, poisoning my people in Milwaukee.
Hey, you know what one of the problems is? That's it right there. You got to get them to let go of get rid of the liquor license, man, because everybody over there gonna keep buying that liquor. Because what other liquor stores close by?
Let me interject off of what Kamar just said. I spoke with one of the order people that's on the current liquor license committee, and what I just voiced is what she just told me that needs to be happening. In order to get this license removed immediately or speed the process up, there has to be a complaint filed by a resident or the police, which that's not going to happen. also a resident, and it would be nice if one of the residents were one of these potential aldermen if of the community, because now that the tape is out and in the hands of the liquor license, all they need is a resident to come up and say, "Hold on, we want to review this license again before the allocated time." So I opened the door without telling you that I unlocked it and gave you the key. That's for anybody that's running for office in any one of these districts. If you have a nuisance property, right, take control of the situation and step out on a limb as many times as you have to. The limb may break, right? But we talking about a tree that has many limbs. Climb your ass back up there and get on another limb.
Shout out to Ocean Shira died. She said she's here. Ruben said, Vince, let me stand in front of them with the information we now have. Shut his butt down. In fact, it's already in effect. Shabaka said California no longer sells liquor licenses. Ruben said, stop playing with this shit, Sean, and lay down the law. Vince, you were the question was asked, what's your plan? And I know Vince has been on this show many times. Vince is a extreme supporter of the show. Let me say that he's a real friend of the show and one of my friends. I can honestly say Vince is one of my friends. But I want to give him a chance to call in and say, let the people know what you do. I like to, I like to know what his plan will be.
I just want to say this before that, because I wasn't attacking Vince. I was actually throwing Vince's phone, giving him a key, opening the door for him to step through that, because I like Vince. And I would love to see Vince get that position, because I know that the community would have a leader that's going to fight for them, right? But other people need to know that too.
Right.
Other people need to know that too, and he has to look at what he's up against. He's up against establishment politicians right now that are going to go in there and do absolutely nothing. And he needs to really come out forceful with this stance, since this new evidence is there, and it's evidence that shows a culmination of violations, right? A plethora of federal violations. We're talking about tax evasion. The list goes on just from this one entity, and this is not the only entity. This is just the entity that's focused on right now. I have several more locations that I will be focusing on in the near future. But right now, this is the main one. This is the epicenter of everything bad in that community. And what I have found out is that they may be responsible for 15 to 20% of the violence in this city.
I know that throughout that district, it's some problem spots. It's some problem Arab, stores. And one of my issues is that they're not vested in our community at all. Vince said, throw me a bone on my phone. He said, throw me a bone.
Let me interject. I'm even going to go a little bit further, right?
No weapon.
These people have formed hit squads. They are paying for people to be hurt and executed.
Allegedly.
Now, ain't no allegedly shit.
It always has to be allegedly.
No, it's not. No,
innocent until proven guilty,
shit.
Sean. It's libel unless you add that to it. It's slander.
Listen, okay, all right then. Allegedly,
right?
It's allegedly a price on some people's heads that I know too. But that price that's not alleged, and it's coming from this entity.
Okay. I'm not saying what you're saying is not true. I'm saying we got to be real careful, because I don't want this individual coming after me. So it's alleged. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm saying
that's why I said it, so that they can come after me.
Right. Well, but usually they're gonna come after the person who's platform and say, "Motherfucker, you got this on your show."
To Mr. Tony, I have sent you the information, bro, in your email on the phone. But that's not here or there. The point of the matter is, what are we gonna do about this location and the plan for the district to to enhance the quality of life for the resident. And I wanted to call in too so that other people can
He's
hear.
on.
It. So I'm about to get off the phone.
Okay, Vince is.
Unless I can stay on the phone with him.
I
Is
ain't
that
that
possible?
advanced. No,
It's not that.
y'all gotta hit
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cash app for that. Y'all gotta,
I got to figure that.
right, right.
So
I'm low
let me get
budget.
off so that he can have his time. Peace.
Okay. Yeah, this is the Milwaukee Mall of podcasts, right? I don't have that. This is the cadence system. One person at a time. One person at a time. My brother Vince Tony, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a whole heck of a lot. Listen to your show. Um, there's always going to be a fight, but sometimes we have to get in there to fight. We're not in the house. We've got too many people that we think are representing us, but they have other interests, and it's not our people. So I've been down to the Common Council 3 times. I've seen what they've done. I've seen aldermen have the hotspot owner at fundraisers right after the hearing. So I know exactly what's going on. And when I get in there, there will not, when the liquor license comes up for renewal, it's going to be gone. But the fact of the matter is that right now, is the hotspot considered a nuisance property? So it shouldn't take one citizen to go up and write anything. If it's a nuisance, that it has to be recorded, meaning that people have to be calling in every day on the hotspot saying that there's a problem over there. If that's not being done, it's not going to be listed. It's not going to come up on the calendar. It's that simple.
Okay. Okay. Now,
So if Sean has some information, I mean, there's plenty of fronts and fights that have to be take place in this city, and I've been down there fighting. I know I've been down there fighting. I've seen them down there. We've had our run in. And he knows exactly where I stand with this dude. I mean, I've been told by Shante Hamilton, 2018, in front of the Common Council, that I had a personal vendetta against this dude. I told him I don't have no personal vendetta against anybody. I hate the fact that he lives in Franklin. He's down here on 27th and Capitol, poisoning my people. He needs to go. That liquor license needs to go. Simple as that. And it's not just poisoning the people; it's poisoning the whole community. Chantia Lewis in 2017, she said not only does that store need to be closed, liquor license need to be not be renewed, it needs to be closed down for at least a year or 2 years to let the community have a chance to breathe. What more do you want the people to do? The lady that gave the testimony, Miss Elder Green, that evening she gave the testimony. She was in tears as to what's going on in her neighborhood. That evening they sent Marvin Pratt to her house to get her to change her story. She said to me, Vince, I don't know why you do what you do because they're going to do what they want to do anyway. So when you got Marvin Pratt going over, she said Marvin Pratt had never been until she gave that testimony. And here he is stepping at her door. He broke her spirit. So there's a lot going on that people don't see because people aren't watching
okay.
or listening. We can straighten. It doesn't take a whole heck of a lot to start the process of turning the city around. But people also have to understand that it took 3 to 4 or 5 decades to get here. It's going to take half that time to turn it around, but everybody's going to have to be on the same page. I mean, that's even the school system with Howard Fuller. All of this shit have to change because we're not educating our kids. We got people opening up fucking schools, and the kids still ain't learning anything. They still can't read and write. You're on TV crying because kids can't read and write, Howard Fuller, but you work the superintendent for 4 or 5 years. So, hey, don't come 30. This problem has been festering for a long time, and it has something to do with everything. It's not just one thing. I mean, it's back in the 60s when the Middle Easterns came over here with $60,000 and started dropping them in front of these stores. We sold out. So there's a lot of things that have to be addressed. One, and we have to come from every end. It's going to take more than one person. I can't do this shit by myself. And I'm telling the people in District 1 that it's us. It ain't me. Period.
Got you. Shout out
I'll
to
leave on that note, Kev.
I got you, Vince. I got you. Holla at your boy, man.
Yep.
Ocean Sheila Dodd said the hotspot is New Jack City. She said Sean is speaking true. You know what? I'm not saying what he was saying is not true. There's legalities, right? And there's indemnity and there's all kinds of things that you have to be accountable for when you have a platform. So I say allegedly, even if I know it's true, until it's proven true beyond a shadow of a doubt. Like we know it, but everybody has to know it. Like Sean has the videos for a lot of the stuff he's saying, so it's substantiated. But I just once again, I always like to say allegedly, right? Like so, I keep me off your list. Come on, come out strong, Sean. He says, stand on them 29 years, sir. We can argue with the cold hard brutal facts. It can't win over truth. No allegations. It's hard facts and truth. I think y'all totally missing the point in what I'm saying when I say allegedly. I think people are missing the point, but that's cool. It's cool. It's Outlaw Radio. Ruben Anderson said, but leave that alone, Sean. Let the wind hit him. Mama Jenkins, she said in District 7, I don't play with this area. I'm a stakeholder and I believe in forcing leaders in this area to clean it up. I call the police and police station so much they say it's you again. I reply, yes, get off your ass and get out here and do something about this situation. Brother Ruben said, good show, ma. Thanks. Um, Sean Moore said, I just stated how we get that process sped up, bro. Let's talk tomorrow. Give me a time. Let's see. This is what needed to be heard. That's what Sean says. Carrie Walker Jones, welcome to the show. How you doing, my sister? She said we also have to deal with mental health properly. It's very important, very important. Ruben says if every brother and sister on here attended an uncommon council meeting, we would shut the hotspot down. Showing solidarity would prevail. It's very true. I've been to I've been to some common council meetings and have worked with some other individuals to disrupt them. uh and the funniest part of it is everybody who saw us on the news doing that laughed at me. They said, Ken, what were you looking at? I was looking at the police. Okay. Those police, them police in City Hall got deep on our ass. I mean, we didn't flinch. We didn't flinch, but I was like I said, I was looking, I'm like this. And she said, Kev, what was you looking at? I said it was 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 20, 25. It was about 30 police that assembled really quick. Like, okay, so yeah, I've been down there. And I agree that we do. I like what Vince said. It's gonna take all of us. And more often than not, we keep saying, well, we need these leaders to do this and do that and do this. And then they get on the news and say, well, we need the community to do this and do that and do this. And in the middle, the people lose, right? Because we're arguing about the argument. We're having a meeting to have another meeting. What's the topic of the meeting today? The next meeting we gonna have, and that's that's just counterproductive. Mama Jenkins said the hotspot is not a new problem and it needs to go. You can't even drive down that street without a beggar or a crackhead running up on your car. Hey, I drive through there sometimes, and like I say, they are in the streets, and sometimes they won't move, and sometimes they looking at me like, what? And I'm just like, if you can get it off before I can run you over, then you win. Because I believe a couple tons of metal should be able to, equal the playing field a little bit. Mama Jenkins is my bruh. He's my bruh. He said, Mama Jenkins. Mama Jenkins. That's what I was told to call her. Mama Jenkins. Patience said, Kamar, that shirt is fire. Yeah, Kamar. I told you one thing about Kamar is he gets all kinds of swag and nobody else receives any. So it's fine. It is what it is. He like to look good himself. He want to stand out, right? He has to shine, right? He said he's living in his light. It's all good. I'm over here dressed like a lumberjack. Kamar over here wearing Egyptian royalty clothing. It's all good though. I understand.
Hey man,
Don't hate, congratulate, right? Ruben Anderson said it's the approach, sir. Real men bringing real change. I agree with all of y'all, man. Scott said 11 District 1 candidates. Seriously, it's a circus, Scott. It's a circus, and that's why and I think that's why Vince had the idea of let's all get together instead of being super competitive about it and talk about like who's really in it to win it. Like if because this is gonna be a fist fight because you're trying to change something. Anytime you're trying to change something, it's gonna be what Blaze say. Some motherfuckers is always trying to ice skate uphill. Um, I think that's what Blaze said. He said we ain't going like that, bro. The real over here, we beat them with their own rule book. Okay. You know what? I think I might agree with Sean. Ruben's Outlaw status right now. We got to get him on here to pop his peas, right? Sean Moore said, hold up, the spot on 27th kill ours, 35th in Wales, 27th in Wales was shut down before their next license hearing. We have that resolve in us. We can do anything we want as long as we do it the right way. Sharon Evans said, King Kamar Carter. Y'all giving Kamar a little bit too much love. I might have to shut his camera down or something.
Peace. Peace.
Nah, man, I have to give him a hard time, man. That's my brother right there. He's talking about, yeah, that's what I'm saying. All across the city, we have these spots. We have these problem spots, but once again, we patronize them. Um, Scott said that that's not a circus, that's a shit show. I don't disagree with you, Scott. I don't disagree with you. Deborah, Mama Jenkins, she said, yeah, he came by my house and had a mean sweatshirt on. I wanted to find out where to buy one. He's just out here modeling. He's a model, right? He's a conscious model, right? He's out here. I stay, right? Like I'm on your heels tomorrow. I wanted to take a quick second to talk about this too, and we're going to get back to this because this is the conversation that needs to be had, and obviously, I'm very happy to have it on Outlaw Radio all the time. This is what we do. So if you're just tuning in, Mondays, Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time until about 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is what we do on Outlaw Radio. But this thing with this. First of all, let me give prayers to the young brother who was hurt in the football game the other night. His name is
Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin. Denari?
Damar.
Damari Hamlin.
Damar.
And okay, Damar Hamlin. And so this controversy, we see Skip and we see Shannon and we see all this conversation. And I want to tell people this because I'm a former high school and college football player. And I don't want people to think that the narrative is we are being misled into playing football without understanding the risk. And Kamar, you know this as well. And I think this has changed over the years. When I played football in high school, every year you had to sit and watch a video. And in this video was footage of young men breaking their necks, getting knocked out, breaking their legs, getting severe injuries, going to the hospital, even suffering fatal injuries. And they would tell us that this is a very dangerous game. So be as safe as you can. And so the risks are there with football, and we know this. But with basketball, there's risk of injury. With hockey, with boxing, with UFC. Okay. I don't want to isolate football because I feel like people, that's why I don't let my kids play. All right. But you understand right now we have competitive race car driving in which individuals drive 200 miles per hour around a track and they suffer fatalities forever. Okay. Sports in general, the way men go about competing is dangerous, right? We have skydivers and people who
But
jump off
that's
of
one of the exciting
cliff
parts of that's one of the exciting parts about sports. You know what I mean? How far people push themselves.
Right. That's it. That's and I could say that my injury to my neck was due to years of playing football. I could say that, but I could also say that I wouldn't take it back because it gave me something that I wouldn't have had otherwise. But I do want to say this. It's very unfortunate that this young brother was hurt. And the controversy now is there's been a rash of heart attacks amongst NFL players, and they are mandatory vaccinated. There's a mandate for them to be vaccinated. We still don't know what the correlation is between these vaccinations and cardiac arrest. He was hit in the chest, right? And I understand because I've seen people get injured. I've injured people on the field, right? Like it's part of what people say makes you a good football player. Had ambulance pull up at practice a couple times in high school where I decapitated some. I tried to, and so I've laid people out and laughed about it. But I don't want this to turn into we're just going to go after football because competitive sports are dangerous. And they always sell us on these narratives of, oh, don't let your kids play. Well, bubble wrap your kid, okay? Put them wrap them up in plastic and send them outside. I'm gonna tell you, when I was young, we rode dirt bikes and we would make ramps out of bricks and wood, and we would go all the way to the corner and roll a half a block and jump 30 feet in the air. No safety gear, nothing. This is what boys did. I know
Yeah.
brothers who used to do backflips off garages,
Yeah.
right? It's one of those things. I call it peacocking. For males, it's something we do. We have to do it. We have to. It's a physical thing for us, and so I feel very, 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 very sad for this young brother that this has happened to him. But I've also understand that we've allowed people to come in. Like you got somebody like Skip Bayless who can say disrespectful things. Many times he does. He writes. He talks about sports. He's never played anything. He's never, and we allow this. And he
Hey,
gets on
hey, he
television
played high school basketball. He averaged 1.5 points a game
on JV. He
on
averaged one
JV.
point.
Hold on,
Right,
he was a junior on JV.
right. And he averaged 1 point a game, right? And so this is who's talking about sports to you, right? Once again, this is why Outlaw Radio and platforms like it are so important because that's why I had the Big Black Sports Show. And I still need a co-host. I wasn't able to, get what I wanted in terms of a co-host, but I think sports and America is very critical and very crucial. And I don't like to see us not talk about the real. When we talk about sports, there's a lot of racial connotations in sports. And so even with the lack of ownership or the lack of executives, and we just play the game, but we don't own anything. I thought the brother who made a very good point in saying people talk about the money that they make, but this brother, they said he makes $800,000 a year, and he has no pension, and the NFL does not provide medical care for players until they get to a certain status. This is only his second year in the league. These are the conversations we need to be having about how we treat these players. And it's you get hurt, right? Like people get hurt, man. Like you walk out the house, you got a 50-50 chance in our community. If I die tonight, is what Tupac said. I might not make it home. And so anything we do is a risk. I want to tell people, stop telling your kids what they can and can't do when you've lived your life in terms of sports and you can't play football, you can't play basketball, and then you complain like all you do is play the video game. Let that boy be a boy so he can grow into a man. Okay? There's risks involved in everything. Make sure his coach teaches him the safe way to play. I'm a coach. I teach kids to play football as safely as possible. Keep your head up. Don't lead with your head. There's all kinds of safety things that can be implemented. I just wanted to, put that out there. We'll get back to the hot spot in the Common Council and, shitting on all the politicians in the city. But this is something that's everybody's right now praying for this young man, and I'm praying for him as well because God forbid he loses life in this fashion. And I'm just hoping that if he is so fortunate enough to come out of this, that the NFL does the right thing and takes care of him and compensates him for his injuries. I just want to put that out there. Now we'll go back to what we were saying. Unless one of y'all got something to say about that, because Kamar, I know you play football just like me. Rail, you said that wasn't your bag. You was more of a player. You more of a teenage.
I wrestled.
Okay.
You know.
Which is also very
I
dangerous.
did that for a year too.
I love that shit, man. But you ran more than you wrestled. That's what I hated. But that was the best
brutal,
shape
though.
I ever was in, man. Best shape I was ever in.
It's brutal though. Wrestling is brutal. You see their ears, like them dudes. Those are the cats. When I was in college, those is the dudes nobody messed with. The wrestling team.
When they got cauliflower ear.
Yeah, and they were banned. Look, they were banned from going anywhere. They couldn't go to bars. They couldn't go to parties.
Damn.
Because they were all dangerous, right? Like it's like you had to shoot one of them little motherfuckers, right? Because like you said, he's running through the student center with his guy on his back for 2 hours.
We had to do that shit.
We
just had to do the stairs at King from the basement all the way up to the third floor and down. That was one time. And in the wintertime, them radiators was a bitch running past them, man.
They tried to get me to do that. It was too much man-on-man contact. I walked in and looked and said, I'm cool.
I quit because I felt like I had a racist coach. I stopped. I wrestled my junior year, right?
Yeah.
I went undefeated. They sent the white dude, he was a senior, they sent him upstate. They reason for sending him upstate was he's a senior. The beginning of the year, he had some cold moves, right? So he used to beat me in the beginning of the year, but I got smart. Like, okay, I'm quicker. So now by the end of the year, I'm whooping his ass on points. You know what I'm saying? I figure out how to beat him now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They sent him upstate. He got beat by a motherfucker I pinned in a minute and 30 seconds.
Damn.
High school memories.
The fucked
Hey,
up
look,
thing
didn't
is,
want me to wrestle the next year. You know what I mean? Oh, hell no. Fuck y'all, man. Cheated me last year.
I got into wrestling. Like, I didn't even choose to wrestle. Like, a couple of my niggas came to me and was like, "Hey, real, come out to wrestling with us so we don't be the only black motherfuckers on the team." And I was like, dog, I just want to go home, do my homework, and chill. But they begged me to come out, so I went out for wrestling. Man, these motherfuckers quit within the first month, and since I really don't know how to quit shit, like I'm loyal to a fault. So I was like, fuck it, I'm in it now. I'm just gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. But I'm glad I did, man. Like I said, that was the best shape I was ever in, and I still can retain the knowledge now. I mean, if I try to shoot on a motherfucker right now, between getting my weight and they weight up off the ground, I might be ass out. But at least I can retain the knowledge and leverage and shit like that.
Right. You still know how to grab somebody.
Right.
Let me see. Vince said he's talking about during Common Council 2017 hearing, there were two pastors advocating for the Hotspots liquor license to be renewed. 2018, I was in front of the Common Council alone. The innocent people in my area don't trust the system. They've given up. I want to talk about the neighborhoods. Sean said I might get locked up this weekend as I'm doing an interview in-house. Y'all better bail me out. I think I got a quarter or something. What Mike F said, I bought some shoes. Scott said 1 in 264 million cardiac hit. Okay.
Damn.
Patience says leave those vaccines alone. Scott, you said 1 in 264 million cardiac hit. Are you talking about this rare for this?
That's
this
probably the
condition?
odds.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like.
Ruben Anderson, someday I hope to come on your show someday. Remember the difference between possible and impossible lays in the people's determination. They are not giants. We are, and they are afraid of our shadow. They should be because, contrary to popular belief, the ancestors are awake. I hear it in the show. Good evening to all. It's been a blessing and very thought-provoking. I'm humble. Oh, man, shout out to you, Ruben. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that, man. You're welcome to come on. Once again, all you got to do is hit me up, man. The number 262-202-5131. I've had any and everybody on here. We don't duck no smoke, as they
Hey,
say.
man, you want to hear something ironic I read?
What's
that?
Remember a few years ago, Pittsburgh was playing a playoff game in Buffalo, and they had a receiver. I forgot his name, number 84.
Antonio Brown.
Remember he collapsed out there on that field?
Got knocked out.
Remember earlier this year, Tua got fucked up on that field?
Got knocked out.
Same field.
Yeah.
Hamlin just had a cardiac arrest or something on this same field. Like, if I was in the NFL, I don't want to go to Buffalo. I don't want to go to Buffalo.
You know what?
Ain't that ironic though?
Yeah, it's very crazy, but you can get broke off in practice. I've seen cats
it can happen anywhere. I'm just saying, like, and I'm just bringing those three up because they were so crucial.
Yeah, I seen that post too. I seen what you're talking about.
Like life threatening, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Type of injury. All in Buffalo.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
That's ironic as a motherfucker, man.
Vince said there's other ways to support your immune system versus 1 or 2 of those COVID shots. They haven't answered enough questions for me. Should have had me on as co-host, or maybe you should have let me know you want to come on. I told you, conversation rules the nation, Sean. I'm a lot of things. I'm a great man, but a mind reader is not on my list. I don't know. You gotta let me know when you want to come on, man. And I can shoot you the link. That goes for anybody out there who has something that they want to say, if you're on something that's positive or progressive or informative for our community, I welcome you to come on Outlaw Radio. Just hit me up. Just inbox me. My government name. I don't got a fancy fly name on Facebook. It says Kevin Barnes. That's actually my government name. So you can inbox me or whatever. Kerry Walker Jones said on that vaccine definitely has something to do with it. I went into the ER heart operating, and she went into the ER heart operating at 27%. Nothing wrong with my hardware, but I was sick for an extended period of time after I took that shot with COVID. I've since recovered 100%. It was definitely the shot. Okay, okay, okay. He said, I'm a boy, Damon. Sean's making fun of me again. He likes to bully on me. Vince said, stop it, Kev. I wanted to wrestle, but mom couldn't afford it. Real, I'm envious. Yeah, it's just a little bit too much man-on-man contact for me. I'm telling you, I went in there and looked and said, nah, I'm good. It was hot and sweaty dudes laying on the floor. I'm like, nah.
I was angry. I was angry. I saw an opportunity to kick somebody's ass.
Right.
And then I was naturally good at the shit. So I said, fuck it.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that. I look, Godspeed to those who wrestle. But I like some people say I couldn't play football, Kev. Y'all wearing them tight ass pants. Everything ain't for everybody. I understand it. I get it. I get it. I just said for me personally, when they was recruiting me at King, saying, boy, you stud, you need to come on in. And I went in that room and said, first of all, it's 150 degrees in here, and them dudes is locked up over there. That's not where I want to be. I'm cool. And that was it. But real, yeah, it's crazy. He said, answer the phone and I'm gonna let you know. That's Sean. I told you Sean likes to bully on me. Kamar said, are you saying that field is haunted? Are you she's asking, are you saying
I
Buffalo
don't
is
know. I'm
haunted?
just saying that's ironic. You know what I mean? I didn't post that. Somebody else posted
I
it.
seen the post, yeah.
I just read it and thought to myself, like, wow, that's ironic.
Crazy.
Like,
Yeah, but I think you
could
could
it
do
be
that with
something
any.
in the air? Like, you know what I mean?
I think you could do it with any field though in the NFL because a bunch of people don't have their noodles knocked off at every NFL field. You feel me? Like
Yeah,
it's something that's part
yeah,
of
for the most
football.
part,
And
yeah.
the harder you hit, the better people love it. It's like, are you entertained? It's a gladiator sport. It's like boxing.
Yeah.
Like what are they doing? You know?
I
Patience said
remember
we
I
got to
seen
come back soon. Patience, y'all do. Everybody, I tell you, man, all people got to do is holler at me, man. Just holler at me, y'all.
Oh,
You're all welcome.
you're
Um,
not entertained.
she said, she said, Real, what type of spirits are on that field? It's a lot of broken bodies, a lot of broken parts, man.
right.
Hey, man, football is a sport that's rough, man. It's very dangerous. And one of the thrills as a football player that you get is when you make it through and because I look back now and say, man, I went through all of that and didn't cripple myself or break my neck. It's incredible. It's testament to, I call God. And I pray before every game, like, Lord, that people who I came in with didn't necessarily leave with me sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they was on a stretcher by the time the game was over. But it's just, but living in the hood is like that too, because you don't never know when you're gonna get your shit pushed in. Pause. But you don't never know. You never know, man. It's this, 50-50 chance. I always say that. Chantel Gwen, shout out to Chantel Gwen. She said, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you, sis. Scott said holler, LOL. Like Scott gets he laughs at our lingo. Scott holler. Nobody said holler. I thought I said holler. Did I say holler? Y'all should have corrected me if I said holler at me.
No, we'd have
Holler at
laughed
your
at you.
boy. I
Hey,
thought
we'd have laughed at
with good reason, right? With good reason. Um, you know, and I want this too. I'm a hip hop dude, right? Like, so let's talk about hip hop. And somebody need to go get Keith Murray. Somebody please go get Keith Murray. I hope this ain't the year that old men come out talking about sexual exploits from 20 and 30 years ago. Like he's coming out talking about Foxy Brown. And Foxy Brown can suck a nickel through a straw, and she gave me a head and this and that. And now he's talking about I ate her out and I ate Shauna out and Ludacris. And I'm like, bro, there's a code. There's a code, right? You're not a teenager. You're not a little boy. You don't need to do locker room talk.
you.
Um,
That nigga on crack.
well, that's what Reggie Wright Jr. said. It's like he's obviously a crackhead, and like But I don't want this to become, because we've seen a lot of instances where some individuals come out and talk about what they did with a woman, and that goes into what I was saying about the double standard. Like, if a woman did whatever she did 25, 30 years ago with her body, it's her body. And we talk about, sexual exploits and all this kind of stuff, and men get credit and women get ostracized. I think if we just get to the point where we can just respect people for who they are presently, not for the mistakes that they made or whatever they did before. Now, if that's not your bag, if you say, baby, you didn't have too many partners, you got your mileage is too high, then let it be that. But I don't think it's the time for us to be coming out talking about, man, she gave me head 25 years ago. Like, first of all, who cares?
Right.
And second of all, it makes you look very bad as a man. It makes you look very bad. So I hope this is not a trend. Somebody needs to. I know that the
Soldier
ratings are
boy ass
everything,
nigga.
the views are everything, but I hope that this is not the trend, because I'm looking at Keith Murray and I feel sorry for him. Like, bro, really? This woman got kids now. She got a family. And you on YouTube talking about she could suck a nickel through a straw, and I like, it's like, really? Like, I'm just now it's this whole Megan Thee Stallion thing, where if that's the energy you put out, that's what you receive, right? And so if your raps and your rhyme and your style is all about my sex and this and that, and so you can't be surprised when somebody validates that. But I just think it's very ugly on his part. And we talk about how our generation was different, and 90s hip hop was this and this. It's like, no, you're just as dumb as these young motherfuckers, because you 50 now talking about what somebody did in the limo 30 years ago. It's horrible to me. I don't know if y'all even seen that. I live in the pie verse, so I had to throw that out there. Let me see what my chat room doing over here. You're right, Sharon Evans. We're not hard on the R's. Like, black people ain't walking around articulating R's, man. We know what we talking about.
Right.
I
Not
don't
even
really.
down south. Not even
All right.
aura.
I
They
don't.
say aura.
I typically don't worry about what anybody who's not black thinks about how I talk. Right? It's just not a concern of mine. Like, so it might be funny to him, but he's funny looking to me. So, Scott, I laugh every time I see you. I tell you that. You might laugh at how I talk. I laugh at how you look every time I see your face.
His English ain't correct either.
Yeah, I laugh every time I see you cuddled up with your dog. Because I sleep with a woman, I don't sleep with a puppy. So take
We
that.
laugh at him every time we see a white dude kissing a dog.
Right? Yeah, be careful, right? I hope that dog is.
We think about Scott.
Mr. Lubba Lubba, right? Nothing says loving like a chihuahua, right, Scott? TR just said Real always have insightful things to say about the spirits. That's why she was asking you that. Ocean She Die says Sean gets on her nerves. Sean probably bullying me. Oh, because he told me to answer the damn phone. Sean is always like, answer the phone. It's our show. He's like Debo of podcasts. Like, it's like both our show. You just keep it at your house, right? What else we got? I don't know if y'all seen this with Alfonso Ribeiro. Did y'all see this where he's on stage with his rap about white girls and how much he loves white women?
I heard about it. I didn't hear it.
Nah, man.
You gotta go watch it, man, because he talks about, man, I've been known to. He gets it's the same thing with I'm talking about with Keith Murray, where he's on there talking about, y'all know I've been fucking white girls I'm known to fuck white girls, and then he does a song about it, and then he wonders why people call him a cornball and an Uncle Tom, and well, I don't like the term Uncle Tom, a Sambo, and all of that, man. That's crazy, man. Scott said, damn right. He's standing up for his dog. Like, dog give you good loving. You just got to feed it right. You be careful and use some protection on that dog. You be walking around with a little bunch of.
Sorry for that dog.
Right. That dog be sleep every time I see him. Scott, you got to slow up on him. Ruben said, damn, on that note, I'm out. Sharon Evans said it's bananas. Look, man, if you're going to fuck with black people, be ready with what come back from us, man, because we're not your grandfather's Negroes. Tiarsha said Jaguar Rice said Foxy Brown had gotten some STD back then. So that means that guy may have it also while he's bragging. That's what I'm saying. Like, you talking about, come on, man. It's just grown-up shit, and it's not shit that's not grown up. Just as long as he don't come crying to mama. That's what Sharon Evans said. What else we got? We got. I had something else that I wanted to talk about. Because I want to talk about this new thing about people call themselves age fluid, where they want to be little kids. And you put that up, Rel. So did you want to like elaborate on? No, that wasn't you. That was Ace Cooley. Did
I
you
was about to
see
say I
this?
don't remember that.
Yeah, that was my
You
bad.
know,
That was my bad.
I was tagged in it. I ain't get a chance to watch it yet. But I mean, it don't surprise me with all the other shit. I mean, motherfuckers walking around with tattooed bodies and split tongues, calling themselves lizard people, and I mean, this shit. It don't surprise me,
Right.
man.
No, you put up the thing about the vaccine, and I made a mistake because I should have let you
Oh,
elaborate on it.
which one, that football dude that dropped dead?
Yes, yes, yes. Because
Yeah, that's
he was
wild.
a pro vaxer, right?
Yeah, he was like he went as far as to he was one of them ones talk about how non-vaccinated should be jailed and fined and shit. Like he was one of them obnoxious motherfuckers, you know, about the vaccine. And I don't wish ill, you know, or death on anybody. I just posted it because it was like he's not the only one. He's not the only one who was going hard on the unvaccinated that's mysteriously having these heart issues, you know. And then I
Right.
posted today, Robert Malone. He's the guy who actually pioneered that mRNA shot, and he has been saying from the get go, this shit ain't what we think it is, and it's really should be cataloged as gene therapy and treated as such, meaning that it should go under a 5 year test before it's even put into anybody. So that's the video I posted today.
Yeah, yeah. They see these DVDs. They came up with that shit quick. It was like at one point they didn't know nothing. Then they was like, "We got a vaccine." Then they said you got to boost it. I was like, I don't trust nobody. I'm
The
going through.
people was wild out here, man, and that's the. I mean, I guess I could say it is funny, but you know, 2 years ago, motherfuckers was telling me I'm killing people. You just selfish and you killing people.
Yeah.
Shit.
They was
But,
nailing us, wasn't they?
man, but now it's like, hey, guess what? If you got jabbed, not only are you any more protected than anybody else, but you actually might be at higher risk because they show how the shot takes your immune response down over time. So, you know, and like I said, I don't wish that on anybody, but it's just wild how there was a lot of obnoxious motherfuckers willing to see other people's have their rights taken out of fear, just to now see that that security blanket was what we said all the time, just some lab rat shit. You volunteered to be a lab rat, and now we just now finding out all the bullshit that you might have to deal with.
Yeah, Vince Tony said they testing that vaccine on people in real time,
Yep.
and that's what it looked like to me. You become a walking kind of like science experiment. And I listen. I had COVID, and I know since then a lot of people have had it. But I had it like not during the pandemic, but right when it started to subside. And I called Kamar, and I'll never forget this. I called Kamar and I said, bro, we ain't gonna do no show this weekend. I done fucked around and caught this COVID, man. And Kamar said, well, check this out. I'm gonna drop a bag off on your porch, and it's gonna have everything in there that you need, right? And so in this bag was a bunch of vitamins, and there was a bunch of elderberry, and there was some sea moss stuff, and my wife was doing this thing with the citrus tea, the lemon tea, and I between that, about 3-4 days later, I'm like, I'm straight. Like I was, and I'm not exaggerating. Literally, I when I took all of that stuff and I continued to take it and continued to take it, and prior to that, when the pandemic happened, I had the elderberry syrup. So when it was at its height, I didn't get it right, and I got the risk factors. First of all, I'm fat. Second of all, I got high blood pressure. So I had all the risk factors, and I came out of it like boom. So I said, man, there's something to this natural remedies to combat these diseases that I feel like sometimes are engineered in labs and kind of put out here on us. Like, it's population control. I don't have my tinfoil hat on, but I do think that sometimes scientists say the best way we're going to do these experiments is to test them, like Vince said, on real time.
You don't need a tenfold half for that, man. Just look at the Tuskegee experiments. Look at the Guatemalan STD experiments. Look at the brother. Damn, I forgot the name of those experiments, but that's when they was taking black kids and exposing them to radiation. And you had that dude. He
with the
died
head,
old. Yeah,
yeah,
with the
with the
this
head, yeah.
man. Shit. So it's like, man, you ain't gotta. It ain't. The crazy thing is they always try to fuck up the credibility of shit by calling it a conspiracy theory, but a conspiracy is just a group of motherfuckers who got together and orchestrated a plot for their own benefit. That's a
Okay.
conspiracy. And then they act like theory reduces its credibility, but motherfuckers still running around here believing the theory of evolution. So I mean, we ain't got to look that far, man. And everything that was a conspiracy theory has now been shown to have credibility, from Martin Luther King and Malcolm X both being killed by the FBI. So I mean,
And
I stayed in Facebook jail, and all the shit that I stayed in Facebook jail for has now been shown to be the truth.
and I can tell you that there's even a report by the CDC that I intended to talk about on the show last week, in which the life expectancy is actually down. It was
I'm sure.
77 years is down to 76.
Shit, niggas
So
ain't
with all
living
the
past 64 now. It's like, I work for the people who get, they call to me for their retirement and shit. So people ain't hitting that age no more, man.
right,
I mean, if they is, they lucky. But then even when they is, they finding out. Like I talk to so many older people on a daily that be like, "Wow, I worked for somebody all my life, and now you telling me I only get $23 in food stamps because my social security is too high." And you be like, "Damn, they was sold that baby boomer American dream shit, and now they up in age just to see how big of a lie that shit was."
Vince said I was building my immune system long before COVID. Um, Sharon Evans said our Southern parents always use home remedies, and they are the picture of health. Well, that's when we had
Mm-hmm.
this book right here. I know y'all can't see it. This is Marsha L. Thaddeson, Healing in the Kitchen. She was on a couple years back.
Yes. Mm.
And she talks about the Southern, the way we maintained our health. There's chapters in here: the power of baking soda, the power of water, the natural sweetener, honey and molasses, good fat versus bad fat, cayenne pepper to the heart, all of these kinds of stuff. And she was on here, and I lost contact with her because her and I were supposed to collaborate on some other stuff to bring more awareness to what she was saying about the things that we take in. I know my grandmother lived to be 100 plus, and I don't ever remember her saying I ain't gonna eat no bacon or I ain't gonna eat no pork chops today. Now, true enough, she didn't smoke cigarettes, she didn't chew tobacco, and as far as I knew, she didn't drink liquor. But she ate all of the stuff that they said was bad, and she
And
lived a very long time.
that's because their food was real. I mean, if you're gonna eat swine, let it be good grass-fed swine.
Right,
I
good
mean,
corn-fed pigs.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, even I had a discussion with my cousin earlier today, and I was telling him how there was an article that shows how it'll take 8 oranges to equal the nutritional value of an orange 50 years ago, just because of commercial monocropping. All those pesticides and herbicides kill the microorganisms in the soil, which put the nutrients in the food. So
Okay.
now, because the microorganisms ain't in the soil, they got to use chemical fertilizer. So now, just like you were saying, people lived to 100 back then because they ate real food, real nutrient dense food. It take 20 apples today to equal an apple of 50 years ago nutritionally. And that's where most of our diseases, like man, when I started fucking with plants, I realized that most of our diseases, everything we deal with is either a deficiency or a toxicity. We either getting too much of something that our body can't handle, or we not getting enough of some shit that our body need. And it will help us all if we just learn a little nutrition and biochemistry, because it all comes down to chemistry. Your body needs minerals to replenish as it repairs and restores itself every day. And if we giving it some shit out of a box off of a store shelf, then every time your cells regenerate, they no longer regenerating with real natural God given information. They regenerating with microplastics and shit. So, it just all comes with education because yeah, we truly can reverse a lot of our health issues just through the knowledge of understanding that our body reproduces itself daily and it uses whatever we eat as its building materials.
Okay. Now, shout out to Mike Kimmett. Big Mike, what's going on, brother? He said the phrase conspiracy theory was originated by the CIA.
There you
Look,
go. There you go.
uh, yeah, and the greatest perpetual. See, and this is the thing. We could, I can laugh at people with conspiracy theories sometimes, but as a black person, we know for a fact that the United States and its government has conspired against black people like a son of a bitch. So you got to say, I can't really totally dismiss some shit. I get to it and I say, I'm not rocking with that. But a lot of it, I'm entertaining it a little bit to say, let me see if there's any, because I'll go do my own research and see what the validity of it is. But yeah, you can't really dismiss because evil is evil, right? And evil has no, it has no bounds. Like people say love will find a way. I say evil will find a way. And we know that our government has done some evil things. And in terms of, you know, biological experiments and experimenting on people like Rail, you talked about that brother with half a skull and
Yeah, that poor
just
man,
yeah,
man.
man, just that's why when they release these documents, they're often redacted, and you say, why does all this blacked out?
All these little
But
black marks.
yeah, Mike Kimmon is saying it's not the food that we eat today, the soil is polluted. He said,
And the air and the water. Shit.
all that shit.
Yeah, all that shit.
But Kim and right, you know what I mean, the soil. Why you think we don't got no fruit trees and shit no more?
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember growing up, it used to raid people's yard because they would have peach
Yeah.
trees and
Yeah.
apples, and I don't know if it's like people are not
Rhubarb.
taking the time to do that anymore, but I know we used to get caught in people's yard all the time. They get your ass out of my yard. We'd be back there getting pears and
You're
apples.
right.
They got
Uh-huh.
plums and all this kind of stuff. That was one of the beautiful things about growing up on Capitol Drive where I grew up at. Yes, I'm just patting myself.
Hey, I grew up in West Line. We just
Oh,
walked
damn.
right outside of West Line.
We gonna go steal some. Oh, patient said real 100 our fruits and vegetables are even compromised.
Yeah,
Uh
that's why it's wild when people be talking about, well, I'm vegan. It's like, okay, unless you growing your own shit, you just drinking chemical water. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That lettuce is full of all kind of bullshit ass fertilizers. So I mean, it's still better than the shit off the shelves in a box. But unless you growing your own shit organically, we can't look down at anybody.
and that was a question I wanted to get into with Kamar, but let me catch up with the chat room. She was saying our fruit and vegetables. We knew what you meant, patience. She said we live to eat, not eat to live. Yeah, I know I do because I will put a double something with extra something on it in a minute. Uh, she said most diseases originate in the colon. They're trying to get rid of seeds as well. Yeah, we going into the the
hmm
conversation about don't eat seedless fruit. But Kamar, that was correct. Rail just kind of stole my thunder
Oh, my
a little
bad,
bit.
G.
No, it's all good. Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike because there is that conversation where people say I'm vegan, but they are buying foods that have been sprayed by Monsanto chemicals.
Or they still eating soy. Soy is one of the most terrible things you could put in your body, man. And
Okay.
most of that beyond, like even with that Beyond Meat, like a lot of people eat Beyond shit, but that Beyond shit is still made in the laboratory, and because it's not really natural vegetable fiber, they gotta add a laxative to that shit just so your body really process it and push it out. So vegan ain't really like people think just because they ain't eating meat, they healthy. But hell, honey buns are vegan. Shit, I was vegan for 2 years and I ain't never get below 200 pounds. Shit.
Okay. So Kamar,
It's that fucking rice and pasta, man.
my question to Kamar would be if I wanted to get into veganism, where should I get my vegetables from? If I say I want to go into vegan, I want to eat vegan. So what's the process here to even get it started?
Well, first, I'm gonna tell you, make it easy. You know what I mean? Keep it easy. Just get it from the grocery store. You know what I mean? Where you feel like you're getting the freshest fruit. Me personally, I go to the Mexican grocery stores to get my produce because I feel like they getting it from their people.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? From Mexico. Over there at Cermax, you know what I mean? Well, actually, all the Mexican restaurants, they keep a wide variety of fruit year round. You go to Pick and Save or you go to Woodman's or something like that, you know what I mean? You basically only gonna get apples, you're gonna get cantaloupes, you're gonna get oranges, you know what I mean? The basic shit. But you go to the Mexicans, man, you know, you get all type of stuff. So, you know what I mean? I say just keep it simple, man. You know what I mean? Don't let this shit get daunting. Cause see, really it's just about elevating yourself. You know what I mean? Like getting to a better point, learning more. You know what I mean? Because that's what life is all about. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there ain't no time to be arguing with nobody about what to eat, what they eating, what they shouldn't be eating. No, we all working to get better. Ain't nobody,
Right.
unless you at a point where you just doing all raw vegetables, you
Right.
shouldn't be arguing with nobody.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody eating fucked up still. You know what I'm saying? And we all got different vices. I still got a late night eating vice. You know what I mean? I get up in the middle of the night, man, and go eat some shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but everybody, it's like I say, it's levels to this shit, man. You
Right.
know, just focus on
Right.
yourself to do better.
Right. One day and one change at a
Yeah,
time, man.
pick something to add into your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay. Patience says, why would you want to eat something that imitates something else you don't want to eat? My wife always asks that question when we
Well,
see vegan this and that. She say,
sometimes,
why would they want that if they're vegan? Why would they want a
hey,
cheeseburger?
look,
Like,
I used to eat meat.
okay.
Shit, I like a good burger, motherfucker. God damn.
It was cheese for me, man. Like meat was easy to cut out, but that motherfucking cheese,
Yeah, you from
cheese,
Wisconsin, right? You eat
cheese
raw.
just
I'd go get
make
a piece of cheese out the refrigerator and eat it
cheese
raw.
make everything taste better. And I thought it was just me, but really cheese hit your opioid receptors. So it's just like heroin.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why it's hard to get rid of. That's
yeah,
why it's hard
man.
to stop eating.
Like say, man, you got some cheddar on you. Give me some mozzarella.
It get like that, man. Shit, having dreams about gyros with the cheese
I
on it.
think I think it's even called it turned into Kaizen morphin or something like this, something like that.
Uh-huh.
You in your
KC,
stomach, and then it
uh,
attached to those receptors.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Patient says, farmers markets self grow. That's the solution. A mixture. I've had the pleasure of growing a
Well,
garden
yeah, of
before.
course.
I've had the pleasure of growing a garden before. I'm in the process of making some moves to get more space. I'm gonna do gardening again just because the peppers were hotter, right? Like everything it
Shit is
tasted
just better, man. Like once you
yeah,
grow your own, you and go back to the store shit, the
Well, you
store
know,
shit tastes like water.
that's the ultimate goal. You know what I mean? But I mean, like Kev, you know, you asked me somebody who just started. You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? You don't want this thing to be so daunting where you got all these different tasks and things you got to do. You know what I'm saying? No, just go get you some vegetables. Go get started.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then eventually, like you said, add something else. Like this was the first year I grew a garden. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's growth for everybody. It's always gonna be some kind of growth that we need
Right.
to get to.
Yeah,
Right.
something else you didn't share with us, right? Yeah, yeah, no, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
This selfish ass. Sharon Evans said, "True Mexican food is full of fresh produce. Mexican food is my favorite food. I love it. Man, ceviche. I just like. Come on, man. I love Mexican food. I could eat
I
it
feel
every
like
day.
I feel like they ain't gonna do they. I feel like they ain't gonna do their produce so bad because they know it's going to their people.
That might be true. I don't
You
know.
know, I just feel like that. So you know, what I mean, that make me feel better when I eat it.
Just be careful.
And
You
I
cut
think,
that watermelon.
and I really think that makes a difference too.
Careful you don't cut that melon and
How do
some
you
cocaine
how do
fall
you
out.
how do you feel about how do you feel about the
Know
how
them
do you
cartoons.
feel about the food you eat? You know what I'm saying? That make a big difference, man, to what you putting into you.
Most definitely.
Stay away from them cartel oranges though. You never know what's in them. I had to do something. I had to do a racist joke. I had to. Mama Jenkins said, just bring that colon cleaner. She need that colon cleaner, Kamar. She ain't playing with your ass.
Yeah,
Yes.
tomorrow I ain't doing no more deliveries tonight. But yeah, call me tomorrow and then we can get you on the
Asia
run.
said
On
I
the
was a.
delivery run.
She said I was a vegetarian for 7 years. I used to go to Burger King get the Whopper without meat. Wow,
Man, you
defeats
know
the
what's
purpose.
crazy? When I was a vegetarian, man, I called up to Buddies and got an Italian beef with no beef. They was like, "Wait, what? So you just
Right.
want?"
Who
They
the
was like,
fuck?
"You."
Stop playing on my phone.
I had to explain to him I wasn't playing to him. I'm like, "No, I just want." I said, "I want the bread. I want that shit dipped. I want all the peppers, mushrooms." I said, "Loaded with the vegetables for me." They
Uh-uh.
they did it and charged me the same price. So I said,
Right.
"Yeah, next time I'm getting beef. Fuck
Get
that."
my meat. Right. I'm getting
Right,
my meat
right.
next time. I just paid for some bread, some mushy ass bread and some veggies.
Right.
Um,
That shit was slapping though. It was.
Vince Tony said cheese that shit. Yeah, you from Wisconsin. It sure is. I'm
It
trying to
is.
tell you, man. I'm telling you, I go in the fridge and grab a piece and just good cheese. Um, she said I used to teach self growing at the King Center. We built Harlan boxes for people. The kids loved it. I say teach the babies, teach them in school. Absolutely, each
Yeah,
one
that's what I
teach
want to
one.
do.
Garden boxes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Erica Ville said, maybe the chemicals aren't legal in other countries, and that's why the produce. You know, if you find out, you look overseas. A lot of the things that we put in our food are banned in other countries,
Right.
like
The majority of them.
like preservatives and whatnot. I was
Mhm.
just watching this thing tonight about spraying the non-stick spray on your food,
Mm-hmm.
or in your skillet before you cook, and how many crazy chemicals that stuff has in it. I'm to the point where I want to go back to just using lard, uh, just because that's what my mama used. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? She used lard, and everything tasted delicious.
I believe
Um,
you. I'm just saying. I don't
And
think
you could
that.
still tap into local farms and get you some grass fed beef, grass fed butter, so stuff. So again, it is it's like Kamar said, it's levels to it. If you're gonna eat meat and shit like that, just make sure it's the best quality of meat. Like real shit with these eggs. Well, for years I've been saying I was thinking about getting some chickens, but now that eggs is fucking $9 a dozen. I think this spring I am gonna go ahead and give me a chicken coop to go with my
a lot of
garden.
people are saying that. A lot of people are
Yeah,
saying that.
man.
A lot of people are.
I've been saying it. I want chickens, rabbits, and goats, but I think I can at least start with the chickens.
Yeah, man. It's a lot to be said about creating like your own kind of system, right? And
Yeah.
start really caring and trying, because you can't do it 100%, but to try and watch what you put in your body is something that's important. I want to see if Sean is listening, because Sean, if you listening, I want to give you a few minutes to call in if you wanted to have something that you want to close with, but anybody can call in before we get out of here. It's 262-202-5131 Outlaw Radio. Share the show. If you're watching it on repeat, a lot of times people are watching the show and they're commenting, which I appreciate as well. And I'm like, well, that show is like from 3 days ago, but they be passionate, like, oh hell, not some bullshit. I'm like, that was from Wednesday, right? Like, but it's all good, man. I appreciate the love. The one thing we got to do in Milwaukee is we have to demand better, and in order to do that, we have to be able to define what better is. Like, a lot of people can say cliches. They can walk up in offices and say, we want our rights, we want power, we want this and we want that, and when they say, okay, what does that mean, they don't have any follow-up to it. The only way for us to really get a total understanding of what we need will come in the form of us being able to get real valid information and distribute it to our people evenly and equally. I think a lot of people are ruined because they just don't know better. And that's why I say what's going on in Milwaukee right now. Yeah, there's financial impropriety, there's some income disparities, but a lot of it is just misinformation. I can't count on my 10 fingers and 10 toes how many times I've had a conversation with somebody who just didn't know sheep shit from wild honey about nothing, right? Everything they said, they was repeating what they heard somebody say. Anything that they needed to have researched, they hadn't done the necessary research. And that's a healable ill. Like you can fix that. But you, much like we just talked about the food, knowledge and information is the same thing. You have to be able to tell what's fast food and what's not, what's celluloid information and what's not. If you're if you're looking at media takeout for all your news, I'm here to tell you that's the fast food of knowledge. If you're going into libraries or you see people say Google, Google, Google. Let me tell you, Google has something called Google Scholar, right? In which you can get all kinds of research and all kinds of theoretic kind of information, scholarly reading. You can get all of that stuff. So don't just use regular Google, use Google Scholar. But it's really about purifying the information that you take in, right? And so, because one misinformed person tends to lead many other misinformed people, now you have a group of misinformed people, and it becomes very dysfunctional. And so, like, if anything that I want to tell my people for 2023 is once again, I don't really invest in New Year's resolutions, but I think sometimes to you got to believe you have to utilize affirmations to say, I'm going to do more research. That's a positive affirmation. I'm going to go in depth about this or that. If I have a condition, I want to look into it and see what the ins and outs of it are. Sometimes when I'm sitting around, I just Google shit that ain't got nothing to do with nothing because I can appreciate the value of what some people would call useless information. But when it comes time to do research, I can remember what I that useless information and apply it and say, oh, that's what that was. Oh, it's all starting to connect. And it will lead me down a whole other path of trying to get some understanding. I don't know everything, and I don't propose to be, and I would never want to be the person that knows everything. But I am a person that knows how to do research and try to find what's important and what's not. Now, I entertain foolishness all the time. I say to you all the time, I love riding around in the car with my friends doing hood rat shit. But there's sometimes where I do understand that this is crucial information that must be acquired. We are in the process right now of trying to build a stronger network and trying to build a greater reach for what we do here on Outlaw Radio. And I've been forced to do some critical research outside of just saying put it on Facebook or put it on YouTube. It's levels to the shit, like Kamar just said. So if there's any goal that we have for 2023, let it be, let's really seek and find out the real truth and knowledge that we need to have. Because if we understand what a politician is responsible for, we can hold them accountable. If we don't understand it, when we call them on it, they can talk their way out of it. They can speak over our heads. They can say, I'm not responsible for that. That's not what I do. But if we understand what their requirements are, what their limits are, because they have limits as well as checks and balances, then we can tell them, well, if you don't know, you're connected to so and so and so, let me get their number so that I can get an understanding of what I need to do. See, it ain't always about, well, I don't do that, so I can't help you. Well, no, you sit right next to the individual that does in meetings and licensing hearings on a regular. The basis of this is if you know better, you're supposed to be enlightening other people. What do they say? The duty of the civilized man is to teach the uncivilized. That's supposed to be the nature of what we do here on Outlaw Radio. Now, we got a weekend coming up because we didn't do a Monday show. We'll be back on Monday. Kamar, what you got coming up this weekend?
I'll be at the Dior Gallery. Me and Ray with Rail. Me and Rail gonna be at the Dior Gallery together, man, rocking the high.
Okay. Didn't invite me, but it's good. It's cool. You know, yeah, I'm that kid that don't want
Man, you know
nobody
you
want to
don't
play
come
with.
out, man.
Nobody wants to play with me on the
You
playground.
don't
It's
come
cool.
outside, man.
Right.
Yeah, this is my first pop
You
up.
don't never come out to play.
Uh,
We
so
quit going to your house to ask you if you could come out.
right. He ain't wrong. He ain't lying. He ain't lying. He ain't lying. But you could at least ask me so I could say no. Damn.
But
You
no,
don't
we
even
gonna be
ask no more.
visiting. We
They
actually
just
we
I'm looking out
visiting.
the window. They just walk right past my house and go ask everybody else. Come on to the playground with us. Brad, what you got? Okay, so y'all gonna be together. So I don't even ask.
Yeah, it's gonna be 12 to 4, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Dior. Gallery. That's what off 107th and Park Place, I think.
Praise you.
Yeah, yeah. So this is my first pop up event. I'm looking forward to it, man. It look like all my people gonna be there. Sarita
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
already
there.
know it, man.
My boy Josh gonna be there cooking and shit. So yeah, it's about to be a gangster party at the at the holistic wellness event.
Yeah, I might put on a dashiki and some
Hey,
beads
it
and
goes
slide through.
down, real.
Slide
This
on down, man.
it goes
Give me
down.
give me a verb stick and come up in there, you know what I'm saying? Like Professor X the Overseer. Van Glorious,
They gonna
right?
have a whole lot of holistic products and wellness products, and I plan on being there with some of my books and gratitude journals and some of my CBD products. So yeah, man, it's gonna be fly. I'm looking forward to it.
Sharon Evans said they perish because of lack of knowledge. Absolutely, I agree, my
Indeed, indeed.
Sean, Patience said, I appreciate y'all truly. Thank you for bringing awareness and providing a platform for knowledge. Yeah, man, share the show, and let these fraud people know why they got all these other bootleg ass platforms on their radio stations. Why they putting all the wrong people in front of microphones? They need to come check for us. They need to get with us and stop playing. Liz Brown used to say they playing in our face, right? And so, it's one of those things where if we demand more, we'll get more. So, it's just we got to get together and work it all out, man. So I appreciate y'all too. Vince, you right. Garage, absolutely. Right after the show, I'm out there, baby. Justice for Denari, y'all. Justice for Denari. Change is definitely coming, patience. I do agree, man. Listen, man, I tell people all the time, man, nobody's coming to save us, right? This is something we're gonna have to do ourselves. And a little assistance would be nice. And as a taxpayer, you should expect some sort of assistance. But when it doesn't come, you got to become resourceful and make it happen yourself, right? Like so, it's that thing my mom used to say: "Root little pig or die po for show." And if you don't understand what that means, you got to look it up, man. So anytime you out and about in the community and you run across somebody and no matter what you say, they have a counterpoint to it, and it's always based on negativity. You have to understand in that dire situation, their criticism of our community outweighs their contribution, and you should bid them farewell and tell them, your ass is a coon. I'll see y'all Monday, man. Peace and love, man.